Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Estara ma'am. Good morning, Christiana. Okay.
Good morning to all
Good
participants.
morning. Good morning to
Good
everyone.
morning.
Good morning, Dr. Supriya, Christina. Coming in 1 minute.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. I would like to request technical team, please make me co-host.
I can imagine how busy your mind is, Dr. Supriya, and how busy you are.
Ma'am, literally. Actually, today we have the live streaming directly from the Acropolis Institute. Oh my God. What a picture. What is an amazing view, ma'am.
It's
Yes,
really a great
You are
pleasure.
looking awesome, ma'am. You are looking awesome.
amazing,
Thank God.
Ma'am,
Thank
amazing.
you.
it's actually yes. Ma'am, when I see you, your beautiful face, okay, wearing in this sari, so I thought I have to wear the sari also, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
I was like
yes.
lazing, lazing.
Me and Christiana both.
Yeah,
Yes,
Yes,
Christina will
ma'am.
look
Me and
great.
Christiana both will wear sari, right?
Yeah,
I
then,
agree
Yes,
she
totally.
can
great,
start.
ma'am. Great. Wow.
Christina, you can start with churida. They're beautiful churidas, you know. Uh,
Yes.
you can start with churida, then
Yes,
lehenga,
yes.
you know. Uh,
Yes.
then you can go to sari. Actually, there's so many nice saris, silk saris, and all, but of course not suitable to.
Yes.
Amazing color, beautiful.
Thank you, thank you. It will look beautiful on you also.
Beautiful. Right.
It's just about how
Yes,
you match the
yes, ma'am.
colors,
Yes, dear ma'am.
and how you tie it.
Yes.
Perfect.
Uh,
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Coming from an
Okay.
Indian family, my mother is
So, yes.
a Tamil school educated, so she makes sure that we use sari for temple. No jeans, no nothing, you know.
Okay.
So it started from very
Okay.
young.
Yes. Right, ma'am. Actually, today we have the live streaming from the Acropolis College, Acropolis Group of Institution. It is one of the most important, I must say, most important and the most renowned institute. And this institute actually it's related to the engineering background. Yes. So yes, I can see there is a IZ is there.
Yeah, today's guest will be.
Yes. Uh, IZ Marvel Chivil. Yes.
I don't.
Could you please switch on your camera? Yes. No, actually, it's a Lizzie. It's a Lizzie, right? It's a
Lizzie
Lizzie.
is here.
Yeah.
Lizzie
Yes,
is
Lizzie.
here.
Yes,
Welcome. Yes.
yes. Hello, my name is
Yes.
Lizzie. I'm
Hello.
14 years old.
Uh,
I'm from Georgia, and I'm so glad to see you. Thank you for that. I'm also going to do a
thank
speech.
you. Thank you very much,
Call.
Lizzie.
I'm also going to do a speech on the 14th call in a few days. And thank you.
Yeah, sure, dear Lizzie, sure, dear. Dear, can we see your face, dear? Could you please switch on your camera if possible, Lizzie?
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Please.
Please switch on. Okay, that's very good. That's very good. Yes. Okay. I think you are going to speak on goal 13, right, Lizzie?
Yes.
Busy.
Yes. Okay. Lizzie, yes, you are going to speak on goal 13. Yes, I remember that. That's here is the Nino also. Nino, thank you
Yeah,
very
yes,
much for joining us. Yes, Nino actually is the educator from the land of Georgia. And actually, here I would like to share that I actually actually got so many messages in my messenger from the educators of Georgia, and actually they told me that we can't speak in English, but we have to participate in this. And so here I would like to mention that whatever language you know, okay, you can participate in this summit. We actually in the Zoom, there is a facility that the your speech or your presentation will be transferred in the English. Okay, so there is no issue with that. You can actually I must say you have to participate if you have wish to participate in this event. So Nino, there is no afraid that if you don't know English, but we actually respect your feelings, we actually respect your zeal, because every day you log in. So I must say, Nino, thank you very much. Here is the one of the speaker from the Philippines. I would like to request technical team, please make co-host one of the yeah Philippines, there, what's the name? Lekani Lele, Philippines. I would like to request, there is a name in the chat box started from the Philippines. Could you please switch on your camera?
The people of Georgia are very supportive. They love to join all the, sessions, and although they don't understand, there's somebody, if there's someone to translate, they will translate. That's what. Very supportive people.
Ma'am Supriya, ma'am, you are on mute.
Oh, sorry. Ramendo Carlo, sir, thank you very much for joining us. Dr. Derry is there. Dr. Derry, thank you very much for joining us. Yes, Shahnawaz Chaudhary, sir, actually has joined us. Shahnawaz Chaudhary, sir, you are late. Yes, dear Lizzie, you are looking very, very awesome, dear.
Thank you.
Yes. Dr. Shahnawaz Chaudhary, please switch on your camera and please switch on your mic also, sir. You are the co-host, Dr. Shahnawaz Chaudhary. Please switch on your camera.
Yes, please. Yes, I'm doing.
Yes. 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 Great, sir. Great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good morning.
Thank you very much, sir. Just hold on.
You are mute. You are mute. Yeah.
Sorry, sir. Sorry.
Yes,
So
please.
without wasting a time, let's start the Global Peace and Sustainable Development Summit, Day 11. Okay. Today we will going to address on the Sustainable Development Goal 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities. Right, sir? So Dr. Shahnawaz Chaudhary, please introduce yourself, sir. Please share your experience to be associated with this global platform, Global Peace and Sustainable Development Summit. And sir, after that, sir, please continue your presentation, sir.
Yeah,
I am
yeah,
giving you a spotlight, sir. Yes.
yeah, please. Just a minute, please. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Sure, sir, sure. Dear Estara ma'am, dear Christiana ma'am, please go ahead with the Shahnawaz sir. Actually, I have some urgent work, so I have to go because we are actually going to live streaming from the Acropolis College, ma'am. Yes.
Okay.
So, dear Estara, please take care
Okay.
about all the screenshots. Yes, here is the
Yeah, yeah.
Shahnawaz Chaudhary, sir. Sir, please
Sure,
present yourself, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning to all. Yeah, I'm Dr. Shanwa Chaudhary. I'm an assistant professor in Baba Ghulam Shah Badshah University, Rajouri, Jammu and Kashmir. And I'm a seasonal professional with the ALA USA certifieds in the resort management. And as far as my academic and industrial experience is concerned, I have near about the 10 years of industries and academic experience in tourism and hospitality industry. And I have been a visiting faculties in different degree colleges in the state and across the country. And as far as my research interest is concerning, I have published near about the 12 research paper in various reputed international journals, international scopus and international journals. And as far as my presentation, I have presented near about the more than the 22 to 23 research paper in different national and international conferences. So, recently I have did a certificate courses from the MoMA College of Business in post-crisis hospitality management, and also did an research course from the Malaysian University in the research. And this is all about me. Okay, thank you. Yes, please.
Please continue.
Hello? Yes, yes.
Please continue. Yes,
Oh.
yes, you should. You can continue with presentation.
Yes, yes, please. So I will give you a speech just and okay. So hello, good morning and good afternoon and namaste to all. Thank you for the Witty Gossip Association and the expressions for giving me the opportunities. So I'm honored to be speaking to you all today. In my speech today, I will be discussing the issues, and that is critical to the future sustainability. As we face the environmental challenges such as climate change, pollutions, and the resource depletions, and it is clear that we need to find the new ways of the living and that are more sustainable both for our planets and for ourselves. And I will be explaining the importance of the sustainability and the sustainable cities and communities and how they can be helpful to create a more sustainable future. And audience, this speech will be around the challenges, issues, and the opportunities of implication in context to the Asia. And I hope that by the end of this speech, you will be the deeper understanding of sustainable cities and the communities to be inspired to take actions in your own lives to create a more sustainable world. And audience, thank you once again you for joining me today, and I look forward to sharing insights with you. So before begins with the topic, it is very, very important to have a look on the Agenda 2030. And what is basically the Agenda 2030 is? The Agenda 2030 is for the sustainable development call for the deeper integrations of the three pillars. Three pillars are the three dimensions of the sustainable developments. And it also the imperative here is to that we recall the history of 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. And on the September 25th to 27th in 2015, 193 member states agreed on the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And they have already 169 targets at the UN Sustainable Development summits in New York. And these three pillars of sustainable developments are the social, economic, and environmental sustainability. And what the environmental, what is the, basically what the environmental sustainability say? Environmental sustainability involves the protecting air, water, lands, and the biodiversity, and promoting the sustainable consumption and productions habits, and that reduce the waste pollutions. And similarly, the economic sustainability is the creation of the strong, equitable economy that encourages the long-term growth and decent work in innovations and productivity, while minimizing the environmental damage. And meanwhile, the social sustainability include the reducing poverty, improving access to the education, healthcare, and the basic amenities and the social inclusion. And these three pillars of the sustainable developments are, as I already told you, that are the social, economic, and environmental sustainabilities. And these three pillars are interacted, these are interconnected and interdependent and must be addressed together in order to achieve the sustainable development. And begins with the economic, social, and the environmental challenge. As I already told you that my topic will be around the challenges and issues in context to the Asia. So some of the challenges where I'm going to discuss with you that are the rapid growth of urban populations. That is a major challenge in the Asian continents. And in 2030, it is forecasted that there will be more than 1.1 billion Asian urban residents than in 2005. And the poverty forces means 240 to 260 million people in Asia, Asian urban areas live on less than $1 per day. That is very surprising. And environmental facts, so depletion of resources and the increase in population due to the overpopulation, that is one of the main concerns. And lack of access to the healthcare, education, and trainings are the social network. That is also a major challenge. And lack of affordable housings and infrastructures, and traffic jams and pollutions that makes it harder to do business in the cities and make workers less productive. That is one of the major challenge in the Asian continents. And some of the interesting and the alarming facts that I'm going to share with you that are that 95% of the urban expansions in the next 4 decades that will take place in developing world, and with Asia and Africa alone contributing 86%. Asia is currently the homes to some 17 mega cities, and it is forecasted that it will be expected to grow 22 by 2023. And by 2023, 16% of the world populations will live in the urban area. This is the forecast. And by 2030, urban areas are projected to 60% globally. And by 2050, 66% of the world populations will be urbans. And the 5% of the urban expansions in the next decades that will be placed in developing world. Another surprising facts that I'm going to discuss with you, over the next 4 decades, India will be add another 497 millions to its urban populations, while as at other countries like the China will contribute 341 million, and the Nigeria at 200 millions, while as the US at 103 million, and similarly the Indonesia 92 million. So another surprising fact that is half of the humanities like for example, 3.5 billion people live in the cities today. And in 2016, an estimate that 54.5% of the world populations live in urban settlements. So some of the current trends toward achieving the sustainable development goals in context to the 11 that are improve in solid waste management within strong focus on. So every country that is focusing on these strong three R's that are reduce, reuse, and recycles, and community-based waste collections and contracting out of collections and transport services have proven effective. And eco-industrial parks and the buildings to reduce resources, consumptions, and the environmental strength and improve the use of energy resources. And the planning related to the disaster management, that's also it current trends toward achieving the sustainable development goals 11. And environmentally sustainable transportations and low carbon solutions. Most of the countries like India is also adopting this type of these targets. And global and the regional cooperations on reducing the marine and the plastic waste and providing governments and the stakeholders with the critical knowledge for climate change adaptations. So these are some of the current trends which are in practices to achieve the sustainable development goal 11. And some of the urban trends. And in 1970, so number of mega cities were only 3. And out of these 3, 2 were in Asia, and which were Tokyo and Osaka in Japan. And according to the World Urbanization Prospects, in 1990s, number of mega cities that were 10, and 5 were in Asia. And in 2014, the number of mega cities were 28, and Asia's were recorded 16 out of 8. And after knowing these facts, the questions arises, how do we make cities and the human settlements safe, resilient, and a sustainable development? So Sustainable Development Goal Allowance define the 10 targets and that drive the actions to make cities and the communities more safe, sustainable, and resilient. And these are ensure access for all, educates safe and affordable housing and the business services and basic services, and upgrade the slum. So this is the first. And the second one, that is by 2030, provide safe, affordable, accessible, and sustainable transport system for all, enhancing road safeties, and especially by expanding the public transportations with special intentions to vulnerable groups like women, children, disabled peoples, and the older peoples. And third one, by 2030, increase inclusive, sustainable urbanization and capacity for participative, integrated, and sustainable human settlements, planning and management worldwide. Fourth one, that is strengthen the efforts to protect and safeguard the world cultural and the natural heritage. Fifth one, by 2030, reduce the number of death persons impacted and direct economic losses related to the global GDP from diseases. And sixth one, by 2030, reduce the adverse per capita environmental impacts of the cities, including by paying special attentions to the air qualities and multiple and other waste managements. And targets, that is by 2030, providing the universal access to the secure, inclusive and accessible green and the public place for women, children, older peoples and those with disabilities. And 8.1 by 2030 strengthens the national and the regional developments, plannings to promote the economic, social and environmental ties between the urban, pre-urban and the rural areas. And 9 by 2030, sustainability increase the number of cities and the human settlement, adopting and implementing the integrated policies and plans for inclusion, resource efficiency, mitigations, and adaptations to the climate change, and resilience to disaster and a holistic disaster risk management at all levels in accordance with the Sendai framework for the disaster reductions 2015-20. Last but not the least, very, very important, that is support least developments countries, including through financial and technical assistance in building sustainable and resilience building, utilizing the local materials. And the connections between the transportations and the sustainable development goals. So sustainable transports and mobility are fundamental to process in realizing the promise of the 2030 agendas for sustainable development. And in achieving the 17th Sustainable Development Goal, Global Mobility Reports indicates that the sustainable transports have direct relevance to the 7 Sustainable Development Goals that are 1, 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13. And make cities and the human settlement inclusive, safe, resilient, and the sustainable developments. That is in the goal 11. And in the 11 goals, there are specific targets that are for the transportation, mainly for the transportation systems that targets the sustainable transports that are by 2030 provide the safe, affordable, accessible and sustainable transport systems for all, improving road safety, especially by expanding the public transports with special attentions to vulnerable groups like women, children, peoples with the disabilities and others. And reduce the city per capita environmental impacts by 2030, focusing on air qualities and municipal and for other waste management. By 2030, assures the universal access to secure, inclusive and accessible green and public spaces to the women, children, and elderly peoples and the peoples with the disabilities, and strengthen the national and the regional development plannings to promote the economic, social, and the environmental tie between the urban, pre-urbans, and the rural area. So, another that sustainable mobilities for all, that is a slogan mostly we listen from most of the countries. And some of the key attributes of that are, first is safety. So safety means reduce the transport related facilities, injuries and crash to reduce the public health risk and the social and the economic losses. So that is come under the transportation. And another, efficiency. By 2030, this objective is to meet the transport demand efficiencies and cheaply, effectively optimize the energy, technology, space, and institution and rules to create an efficient transport systems or network. And universal access by 2030 to ensure that no one is left behind, to take advantages of the social, economic, and environmental benefits for present and the future generations. And the green mobilities. By 2030, this goal seeks to tackle climate change through the mitigations and adaptations, and as well as to reduce the air and the noise pollution. So this is all about my today's speech. Thank you so much for inviting me. Okay, and if you have any queries and you have any questions, you can ask me, please. Hello.
Thank you, Dr. Shahnawaz Chaudhary. Thank you very much for joining us. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, please. You are audible.
Yeah,
Yes.
sir, your mic is, yes, sir. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Actually, I must say, actually, as Tara said, you are a passionate speaker, sir. So thank you very much, sir, for your excellent sharings. Your mind-blowing speech definitely enlighten our all students, our all guest speakers, and your insights to address the Sustainable Development Goal 11 will definitely make difference to achieve our goal, to achieve the most sustainable and the most empowered world. So thank you very much, Dr. Shahnawaz Chaudhary. Thank you very much
Thank you, ma'am.
joining
Thank
us,
you
sir.
so much.
Sir,
Thank you.
on behalf of whole team Witty Gossip Association and on behalf of whole team Expression Learning Resource Private Limited, I just want to say, sir, thank you very much. We are grateful, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank you.
sir, please do this, sir. Please do this.
Yes.
Sir, please do this so that I can capture your screenshot.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Yes. So without wasting the time now, first of all, I would like to also welcome my beloved friend, Vanessa Jacqueline De Cruz. Vanessa, thank you very much for accepting my request. And today you joined. Thank you, dear Vanessa. Thank you very much. And if possible, dear, so please switch on your camera. Dear Vanessa, could you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Yes.
I on it later because I'm at my office lah.
Okay, Vanessa. Okay, no issue. If you have any problem, so no issue. Yeah. So thank you very much, dear Vanessa. I hope you will enjoy all the presentations and all the speeches, dear. Thank you very much. Dr. Reena Gupta, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, am I audible?
Okay. Yes. So yes, ma'am, you are audible. And here I would like to announce that. Just hold on. Yes, Dr. Ramendo, Sir Ramendo Carlo. After the Reena ma'am, you will be the next speaker, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you po.
Yes. Yes. And Ramendo sir, I would like to request you, sir, please switch on your camera so that we can easily identify you, sir. Just hold on, sir. Yes, Haripriya Sahu ma'am is also there. So I would like to request technical team, please make co-host to Haripriya Sahu, sir. And here I would like to also introduce my beautiful friend Maya. I think yeah, she is from the Georgia, and she joined us. Maya, would you like to say something? Your smile
Yes,
smile is very
please.
nice, dear.
Thank you. It's great
Yes.
pleasure for me and big honor to be the member of this summit. It's very interesting for me to hear your opinion about SDG. I'm sure that we will work together to help the world, and this is our job everywhere at school or at university or in every job to to have the better world for 2030. I'm sure that our job will help us to have the better views and better
Sure, dear.
job.
Sure, dear, sure. So thank you very much, dear. I hope you will enjoy all the presentations, dear. And definitely your students will also participate in this summit, dear. Thank
They
you.
are listening
Thank
already
you.
today. And
Dear, would you
tomorrow
like to
will
do
be.
this? Yes, yes, dear, a little bit up, dear, little bit up. Yes, yes. Amazing. Thank you, dear. Thank you very much, dear. Thank you. Yes, Dr. Reena Gupta, now please switch on your camera, ma'am. Dr. Reena Gupta, ma'am. Yes,
Yes,
please
ma'am.
switch on. And meanwhile, yes, and meanwhile, I would like to request technical team also. Please make co-host Dr. Charanjit Kaur. Yes, Dr. Reena Gupta, the whole virtual stage is yours, ma'am. From the audience, sorry, from the Expression Learning Resource Private Limited and the whole team of Witty Gossip Association, we welcome you, ma'am, on this grand platform. Here, I would like to mention that Professor Dr. Reena Gupta is the head of the department in the Commerce and in the very renowned college, Indore Management Institute. So, Dr. Reena Gupta, the whole virtual stage is yours, ma'am. Please share your insightful views to address the Sustainable Development Goal 11. Yes, ma'am, please.
Thank you so much, Supriya ma'am. Very good morning to all present here. First, I would like to show my gratitude to Witty Gossip, Expression English, and especially to Supriya ma'am and Parul ma'am, who give me this global platform to share my views on Goal 11, that is Sustainable Cities and Communities. The world is developing as an extraordinary scale. Over the next 20 years, urban in developing countries will double to 4 billion, while the urbanized land area will triple. Rapid growth helps create new opportunities, but it has also brought some serious social, economic, and environmental challenges. Today, urbanization is the most echoing word for all the cities around the globe. But in simple terms, urbanization has been described as a consequence of population shift from less serviceable areas to high serviceable areas. The process of urbanization is directly proportional to other trends. That is modernization, industrialization, technological advancement, infrastructure, sociological transformation, economy planning, policies, and public health, and many more. Urbanization impacts climate, land use pattern, and transportation on the larger scale. However, the debates of decades are yet to summarize the pros and cons of it. Urbanization is not just a modern threshold, but it is a phenomena of transferring and redefining the social, cultural, and historical roots of human on the universal scale. Whereas the rural tradition is the most affected aspect influenced by urban culture. The sustainable growth of urban cities is only possible when the planner would start working on synchronized policies for both the rural and urban transformations. In India, if we talk about the India, many rural habitants migrants for employment and better lifestyle, but the glint of urbanization fades on the factual ground. Where a city fails to provide even the basic necessities to a human, that is the food, shelter, education, employment, better health, and many more. The unplanned growth of metropolitan cities has resulted in urban sprawl and densification. The interrural cities stresses and migration from outside of the city are the two main factors that determine the positive or negative impacts of urbanization. The urbanization story of Indian cities also come with its share of complex issues related to housing, pollution, climate change, along with inadequate provisions for social and physical infrastructure. The emerging cities are located in developing countries that are experiencing rapid economic growth in India. They are referred to as Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. India's urban areas currently house about 377 people, 3 million people, and will have to accommodate close to 200 million more than 2030 as the country's economic emphasis shift from agriculture to manufacturing and services. Much of India's growth is currently taking place on the fingers of cities. It is the unplanned and without sufficient infrastructure and services. The Sustainable Cities of India intends to enable cities to decarbonize in a systematic and sustainable way that will reduce emission and deliver resilient and equitable urban ecosystem. This initiative is in synergy with India's commitment to turn net zero by 2070 as the climate mitigation response at COP26. For this solution, that should develop the principle of green urbanization to overcome urban issues and challenges. Futuristic cities and urban dynamics frames perception about bringing new infrastructure, facilities, and lifestyle with social cohesion and economic substances, coping up with all urban demands and dilemmas. But cities of tomorrow do not reside in other Zulu from cities of today. The basis of futuristic urban cities will only from by the strategies picked to tackle today's challenges. The major challenges is that concerns comprehensive strategic plan, but an interlinked, integrated plan to cater all the levels of pyramid. Green urbanization is an interdisciplinary term. It requires the collaboration of various social and professional threads. For example, panorama architects, engineers, urbanists, ecologists, transport planners, physicists, psychologists, sociologists, economists, and other experts contributing to building a country, further to architect a concrete designers. Green urbanization minimize each mode to utilize strength, water, and different resources at each level, along with the embodied electricity within the extraction and transportation of constructing substances, their fabrication, incorporating the material into the constructing, and in the end, the benefit and price of their recycling waste a character. Building existence is over. These days, the urban and architectural design also has to take into consideration whilst intervening the energy green strategies into building production, preservation, and modifications, and its use inclusive of the numbers one energy use for its operation, along with lighting fixtures, heating and cooling, and so forth. The major principle of green urbanization include 000 framework. 000 framework means number one, zero fossil fuel energy, second, zero waste, and third one is the zero gas emissions. Thank you so much. It's end from my side.
Thank you, Professor Rina Gupta. What a wonderful sharing of SDG 11. Excellent. Yeah. We hope that we will have you again in future. Thank you for your effort and your wonderful presentation. Thank you so much, Professor Rina Gupta.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Our next speaker for today will be Mr. Raimundo Carlo Hernandez from the land of Philippines. Welcome, sir.
Hi, good afternoon. Good day, everyone. I'm here from the Philippines. Okay, if I may be allowed, can I share my slides? Can I share my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You are co-host now.
Thank you very much. I hope my screen is visible for everyone.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. I thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to talk or give a sharing of my perspective on how robotics is for the greater good of mankind. However, let me give this moment to give thanks to everyone for allowing me to be here, and also to Dr. Dari Dakanay, my Director of Academics, for selecting me to be one of the speakers for today. And I hope everyone will learn something from what I'm going to share. Okay, let me start. So as of today, we are familiar with robotics. Once we're talking about robotics, we are talking about mainly robots. And what are robots for today? Basically, I'll be using a laser pointer, if I may. So basically, What are robots for today? Sometimes toys, sometimes machines, sometimes industrial equipment. Others, it's a science experiment. And mostly, they are being used in commercial business, like this one. Also, our drones, it's also considered as a robot. But the thing is, robots, once we talk about it to our students, they are thinking always of humanoid type robots. But they are not familiar that even in cars, elevators, even in an automatic telling machine or teller machine, robotics is applied. Now, the thing is, what are robots of today? And what can robots can do to mankind? Now, let us just have a quick preview, a quick review of our industrial revolution. Before we started the innovation of doing mechanization, then we did mass production. Then, as you can see on my screen, Industrial Revolution number 3 included computers. In 4, like in 2010, we just started the networking. And then, right now, we have 5, human-robot collaboration and cognitive system customization. However, what is the next step? What's the next step? Actually, it's now happening. For industrial number 6, in this Industrial Revolution number 6, we are now incorporating more and more of sensor robotic manufacturing as an addition to artificial intelligence. And this is from myromedium.com. You can search it. But the thing is, what's really happening from our perspective in the education? What's really happening? What we're trying to tell to our students? We're trying to innovate. We are not just trying to mechanize. We're not just trying to automate, but we are making things more easy. We're making efficient things, efficient machines. However, have we considered something? Because we are talking about SDG. Are we able to talk about our environment? Did we consider our environment during the time of the revolution of numbers 1 to number 6? Have we considered that one? Now, let me give you an example. I am able to get a permission from my students to use their innovation project. How can we use robotics to have SDGs? So for their innovation project, they called it as the BASO facility. Okay, in the Philippines, the term called BASO, it means a glass of. It means just a glass. Now the thing is, this innovation project is a power plant. The BASO means barangay-based power plant. They just named it as BASO because this power plant can generate also water, which I will be talking about a little bit later. And here is the example of their innovation project. There, you are able to see it has wind generation. Underneath, they based on what we have presented in our competition, so there is a river under here, and then there is a landfill over here, in which, let me just go to the next slide. In their stage 1, they are going to gather river materials. Actually, those are waste materials. So they are going to collect it first, and they're going to burn it. Okay, wait for a second, because there's burning. Okay, there's incineration. So the steam that's going to be processed in stage 2 will go to stage 3. So innovation comes here that whatever waste material that comes out, from the burning area, it will be filtered. It will be filtered using the current technology and will release, they plan to release it as oxygen. So instead of giving waste material as in carbon dioxide or gases that's going to add up to our greenhouse effect, they are going to make a filter that's going to release oxygen. The next thing is that because this facility is also is located beside a small river, they are planning to create a water treatment facility at the same time. And furthermore, they are going to provide clean water, clean energy to a certain village. Why am I telling you this one? This is because all of these things is possible using the concept of robotics. We have the windmill here. We have the landfill and recycling materials and collection materials over here. We have also gas filtering mechanism or facility over here. And which is, if this one, as my students are saying, if this one can be installed in a local village, that village can sustain. Now, before I wrap this up, are we able to think about what are the new technologies that all around us? Have we tried to some sort combine all those technologies to create a better one? Okay, continuing, let me give you an acronym for what I am saying. Let's call it as AIMS, letter A, letter I, letter M, and letter S. A means let us try to advance our capabilities in a smarter way. We know it's smart, but for smart, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and then it's time-based, time-bound. How about the letter E? Is it engaging? Is it engaging for our community? Is it engaging for our country? And letter R, is it reaching to the next level? If we are really going for the next level, then we should try to also do the next one. A is advance. I is inspect our current ways. Are we trying to do our ways a little bit better? Yes, we are. Look at my previous presentation earlier with the innovation project of my students. They have all technologies that's possible and realistic of today, and they just combined it into one, but in a smaller scale. Yes, they did advance, and yes, they did inspect. Next, how about letter M? Are we mobilizing by doing the right thing, as in right now? What are we going to do? Maybe let's try to propose it. Let's try to propose it on our local government areas. Because if we are not going to start now, when are we going to start? And that is my meaning for mobilize. Letter S, make sure we secure and ensure our environment safety. We are doing this one. We are saying SDGs. It's not just because we want to live here on this earth. We are doing it for everyone, including our environment. Okay. To end this one, the best way to predict the future is to invent it. As I am saying earlier, invent our future using AIMS. My talk is very short for today. However, I hope that everyone was able to learn from my short talk. I thank you very much for listening. That would be all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sir Raimundo. Christina, you want to share something about Sir's presentation? Are you here?
Good morning. Dr. Raimundo Carlo from Philippines has amazing idea base of facilitating with their students and make amazing point of burning the waste and make oxygen, clear water, and clear energy in small area, not the megapolis and etc. and big cities, but in rural places. Amazing idea, and keep going. Bravo.
Thank you.
Yes, Raimundo.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Yes.
Okay, doctor, you are here. You carry on. The Namaste post I haven't done for Dr. Raimundo and Professor Rina.
Dr. Reena.
Yeah,
Yes,
Dr. Rina
yes.
and Professor
Professor
Raimundo.
Dr. Reena Ramendos.
Yeah,
Sir
he is-
Ramendo, I am giving you a spotlight. Yes, yes. Yes, Ramendo Carlo, sir. Please do our gesture, sir. Joining hands.
Sorry, may I ask how can I help? Sorry.
Yes. Sir, you have to do this gesture, sir. Yes. Just do this gesture, sir. Just join your hands, sir, like this. Just join your hands like this.
Like this?
Yes, a little bit up. Yes, little
Yeah.
bit up, sir. Little bit up, sir.
Like this?
Yes, yes.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. You did it, sir. You did it. Sir, I must say, sir, your presentation was awesome, sir. It's really awesome. And the way you actually delivered the presentation, it was also fantastic. And sir, I must say, sir, actually, I am fascinated about your acronym, sir. Sir, your acronyms was also very good, sir. And actually, I like this acronym, advance our capabilities in a smarter way. Yes, of course, we have to advance our capabilities in a very, very smarter way. Only then we will understand that what is the importance of all the sustainable development goals and how these sustainable development goals actually affect in our life, sir. So thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful insights, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Yes,
Dr.
thank you,
Supriya,
sir.
can we take
Dr. Reena Gupta, ma'am.
Rina's-
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Rina's photo? Not
Yes,
taken yet.
yes, Dr.
Yeah,
Reena Gupta. Yes, just hold on, ma'am.
she's here.
I am giving you a spotlight. Just hold on, ma'am. Yes, yes. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Reena, ma'am. Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am. So now it's a turn to our next speaker. Our next speaker is Dr. Haripriya Sahu. Dr. Haripriya Sahu, are you ready? Yes. Here I would like to introduce Dr. Haripriya Sahu. Dr. Haripriya Sahu is one of the renowned educator from the Imperial College of Odisha. She is one of our global convener from the Imperial College of Odisha, and actually she connected more than 12 speakers. I think more than 12 speakers from the Imperial College Odisha, and most of the speakers will speak on the goal 13 from the Imperial College of Odisha. So first of all, please make a virtual clap for the Haripriya Sahu ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. Ma'am, now, ma'am, the whole virtual stage is your, ma'am. Please, please share your views, ma'am.
Yeah. So is my slide visible to everyone? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Namaste. Good morning to everyone present over here. I'm Haripriya Sahu, faculty member of Imperial College, Barkad, Odisha, India. So the Sustainable Development Goals, if we see, it has 17 goals and a universal commitment to end poverty, hunger, and reduce inequalities, to make our planet cleaner, safer, and sustainable, and to work together to fill our lives with opportunity through health, education, justice, and prosperity. So this SDG 11 is about making cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. It is one of the 17 SDGs in the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The goal says cities should ensure access to safe and affordable housing, public transportation, and public green spaces. It states that cities should be resilient to natural disasters and protect those in vulnerable situations while also minimizing economic loss. One sustainability target that is often overlooked is social sustainability and civic engagement. This includes action individuals can take, like voting for measures that increase sustainability in their own city, or for politicians who support these measures. People can also attend their city's public forums to give feedback on on sustainability initiatives. Like, take as a whole, SDG 11 is a comprehensive and yet a very complex goal, because it requires creating sustainable cities that can withstand both climate change and unprecedented growth. So why is this so important? A vision for cities that has never been so important as it has been today. More than half of the world inhabitants live in cities, and this migration trend is expected to continue. By 2050, more than 2/3 of the world will be urban dwellers. India alone is expected to double the number of city dwellers by adding 404 million new people to cities over the next 35 years. Therefore, it will be under the auspices of cities where we will succeed or fail in achieving our goal of poverty eradication, or equality, or climate change reduction, or ensuring our healthy lives. It will be the cities that determine if we achieve inclusive economic growth or yield to greater inequality. It is in the cities where people will seek opportunities for higher education and employment, and it will be the cities that determine if we continue our steadily increasing usage of the world's resources, or if we can realize a more sustainable path. This is why SDG 11 is so important. So SDG 11 holds a very special significance in the Indian context, if we say. Like, as the data you can see in the screen, by 2030, India will have 7 megacities with populations over 10 million. 11.2% of urban households don't have sanitary toilets right now. 43 million tons per annum waste generated in cities, 22.5 million pollution-related deaths in 2015. So these data actually shows that we need SDG 11 to taken very seriously in India. So as you can see, like with Mumbai housing one of the largest urban slums in the world at Dharavi, Delhi topping the charts in the degradation of air quality, Chennai with unseasonal flooding in recent past, and recent persecution of Bangladeshi immigrants in West Bengal and Assam through political propaganda highlight the consequences of outdated and short-sighted urban and regional planning. The price for such oversight is paid by the economically and resource challenged, and thus reflect the inequity present in our society. This inequity results in poverty, hunger, violence against women and children, and political instability. Thus, SDG 11, we can say that it would provide urban population a safe, productive environment through carefully planned amenities and public spaces for sustained development. India is urbanizing very rapidly, we can say, and between 2001 and 2011, the country's urban population had increased 91 million. By 2030, India is expected to be home to 6 or 7 megacities with population above 10 million. So according to 2013-2014 figures, 68% of the country's total population live in rural areas, while 17% of the country's urban population live in slums. So what government has taken initiatives till now and to achieve this goal, which would be helpful in achieving SDG 11 in Indian perspective. So first one is this Smart City Mission. The National Smart City Mission is an basically urban renewal mission launched in 2015 to promote cities to provide core infrastructure, a clean and sustainable environment, and a decent quality of life to their citizens through the application of smart solutions. The next one is this Amrit. Amrit is basically Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation Mission.
So the purpose of Amrit is to ensure that every household has access to tap with an assured supply of water and the sewage connection, increase the amenity of value of cities by developing greenery and well-maintained open spaces, reduce pollution by switching to public transport or to non-motorized transport. The next is the Swachh Bharat mission, which is basically Clean India mission. It was launched in 2014 to accelerate the efforts to achieve universal sanitation coverage. And the next one is the Hriday. Hriday is basically the Heritage City Development and Augmentation Yojana, which is was launched in 2015 again to bring together urban planning, economic growth, and heritage conservation in an inclusive manner to preserve the heritage character of each heritage city. Then lastly, the PM Awas Yojana, the Housing for All scheme. It was an initiative of the Indian government to establish housing facilities for slum dwellers and was introduced by the Indian government of Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. So what is the way forward for this everything? So I could say the first one is the sustainable planned and eco-friendly cities, like government's effort to build smart, safe, eco-friendly and affordable cities should get more boost. Then second is the private investment. More investment should be encouraged for green living. Then next, access for all. Every resident should be able to access all the services without discrimination of any kind. Even the it should be disabled friendly and inclusive infrastructure should be made mandatory in the urban areas. Then fourth is the employment. To mitigate the negative consequences of increasing urbanization while still protecting natural ecosystems. And the next is health and population management, because population control is important to manage the spread of diseases. It will help in creating a healthy society with medical facilities accessible to all. And last one is poverty elevation, a bottom-up approach that can be adopted to better understand unique challenges faced by the urban poor and worked upon. So to conclude everything, I would say that cities are where the battles for sustainable development will be won or lost. So we all need to play our respective roles. Like we need to identify what I can do or what as a society or what as an institution we can do to achieve this goal, so that our efforts would be multiplied and everyone and as a whole in all over the world we can achieve this. So thank you so much. This was from my side.
Thank you, dear Haripriya Sahu, ma'am. It's a really, really awesome presentation, ma'am. And actually, I like the last one. All partners have a role. Let us identify, connect, and play our roles. Play our roles. Yes, this is the time that we have to play our roles. Yes, this is the time. We actually have to take actions, collective actions. This is the time to take the collective actions to address all the sustainable development goals. So thank you, dear. Thank you, Haripriya Sahu, ma'am. Actually, you took us another tour to the future and insights to achieve SDG 11. Thank you very much. Actually, this is the message from our mentor, Dr. Astara. So thank you, dear ma'am. Thank you very much. Your insights are very, very grateful. Dear Christiana, would you like to comment on the Haripriya Sahu, ma'am?
Yes, I'm amazing how big initiative of India they have, Amrut, Hriday and PM, eco-friendly cities, and that is amazing view how and movement how can help in big megapolis. Amazing point, growing megapolis with versus living at rural area. And you in India have problem that lots of people coming in big cities and making the slums area, etc. But here in Croatia we have opposite movements after two big earthquake and strong lockdown in our smaller cities. That is 1 million people in the city Zagreb. 30% of our people are going to live in a rural space. and they are going on the grandma and grandpa village, and they living there and make sustainable rural area. That is opposite in Croatia than India. Amazing view, Emrut, Friday and Prijem, eco-friendly city. Hapriya Sahu, thank you.
So,
Thank you, Christiana ma'am. Thank you. Haripriya Sahu ma'am, now it's a turn to do our official gesture for the collective actions. Please do this, ma'am. Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Ma'am, your smile is very, very fascinating, ma'am. I love your smile, ma'am. I love your smile. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. So moving ahead, our honorable guest speaker, Believe Oboi, joined us. Believe Oboi, thank you very much for accepting our invitation. And on behalf of whole team Witty Gossip Association and on behalf of whole Expression Learning Resource Private Limited, sir, I give you a warm welcome on this global stage on the platform of Global Peace and Sustainable Development Summit Day 11, sir. I would like to request technical team, please make co-host rights to Believe
Yes, ma'am. He is
Iboi, sir.
co-host now.
Believe Iboi, sir. Okay. Believe Iboi, sir. You can switch on your yes mic. Yes. Hello, sir. Greetings from India, sir.
Good morning. Greetings from Nigeria.
Yes, yes. So actually, Nigeria is actually a place which is very close to my heart. Actually, when I was in Africa, so sir, I went to the Nigeria, I went to the Ethiopia, I went to the sir Egypt
Wow.
also, and I went to the Kenya. So, sir, Nigeria is one of my favorite place, sir. So, thank you very much, sir, for joining us. So, the whole
Great to
virtual
hear.
stage is Sir, the whole virtual stage is your. Please share your views, sir.
Okay. Go 11, as we all know, is about creating sustainable cities and communities. And in the African perspective, we know that Africa is, like somebody says, Africa is like a global slum compared to Europe. And that is something that we in Africa actually try to change. We believe strongly that if Africa cities can become more developed, will look like the European countries that an average African actually aspire to go to. But I think my major concern is I live in Lagos, Nigeria, which is one of the most urbanized areas in Nigeria and even in Africa. But I think my concern is because of the nature of my work, we've been privileged to travel to the villages, or what we call the rural areas, in terms of agri consulting and all of trying to develop agricultural facilities for smallholder farmers. So we're privileged to move to villages and suburban areas. And we notice that the kind of efforts that government agencies and even the government and even the private citizens put into developing urban cities, the same efforts are not put into developing the villages. And I think that is one of the reasons why we keep having that huge chunk of people moving from the villages to the city. You now have a lot of urban congestion, and yet the villages are empty. So for me, I believe that when we talk about sustainable cities and development, it should be all-inclusive, looking at how can we create a balance or an equilibrium between the cities and the villages, such that, so when you say inclusive city, urban cities, and that practically all the effort of government across everywhere is always about urban cities, urban cities, urban cities. I'm like, okay, what about urban villages? Can't we have urban villages, or can't we have sustainable villages or sustainable environments for the villages? So you see on a regular basis, an average government in power say, okay, let's clean the city, let's do sanitations, and all of these policies are not implemented in the rural part. And that is a major reason why, if you want to control population in the cities, first attempt is that we must be able to create facilities for the villages, so that when the villages have the urban facilities, when the villages have the same opportunities like that the urban cities have, you're going to create a balance. You're going to create an environment where people will not need to move to the cities. So I think this is the flow. People from the villages move to the cities, and people from the cities move to Europe. I think that is the migration or the immigration process. People from the villages move to the cities, and those in the cities move to Europe or any other Western country. So we are like, if we are able to create good villages that have facilities, that have most of the urban facilities, you're going to have a balanced population. While we're talking about this country is populated, that country is populated, you notice that in our villages, they are empty. I've been to a lot of villages in Africa, in different African countries, and most of those villages are really, really, really empty. And I think it's high time we begin to look at how we can create villages that are sustainable as well, in as much as we are talking about sustainable urban cities. So, thank you.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. Please join your hands, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Dear Estara, please say a few words about Believe Sir's address speech.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Supriya. Welcome, sir. Believe Igoi. Wow, you mentioned about people moving from cities to village. I think it's a good idea because the more people move to cities, there's lesser job opportunity. We have a lot of social problems and whatnot, so many. So, but people living in cities desire the village life. I live in city, I do desire that. So I think it's all right to switch, yeah, to take a break from, yeah, so that both village and city can develop at the same time, at their own pace, and we keep peace. Wonderful presentation, Sir Believe, and excellent, excellent. We look forward to have you again. Thank you, sir. I think we can have this gesture. Technical team, can you spotlight Sir Believe?
Thank you.
So that we can have that.
Being here.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sir Believe.
Okay.
Yes. So we are going to take a small break of 10 minutes. And after the 10 minutes, we will have the live streaming from the Acropolis College. Yes. Meanwhile, dear Estara, dear Christiana, please share your views about the Sustainable Development Goal 11. Dr. Haripriya Sahu ma'am, please join the open group discussion about the Sustainable Development Goal 11. Philip sir with us. Philip sir. Yes, I think. Huh. Believe Oboi sir. Sir, please switch on your camera once again. Yes, yes. So now actually it's a time to for the open discussion. Preeti Jain also has joined us. Preeti Jain is one of the most intelligent student, I must say, of the Expression Learning Resource Private Limited. Preeti, if possible, please switch on your camera, or if you will be able to switch on your mic, if possible, Preeti.
Yes, ma'am. The network is slow, ma'am, so I can't open my camera.
Yes. No issue, dear Preeti, no issue. Dear Preeti, with the Haripriya Sahu ma'am, with Christiana, with Estara ma'am, and with the Believe Oboi sir, please join us on the open discussion of the SDG 11. Yes. So first, I would like to ask Haripriya Sahu ma'am, Dr. Parul Sharda ma'am, I will be grateful if you want to join on this open discussion, ma'am, on SDG 11. Ma'am, would you like to put your insights also, Dr. Parul Sharda, ma'am, if possible? No, I think there is, yeah, okay. So let's start with the Haripriya Sahu, ma'am. Haripriya Sahu, ma'am, ma'am, please actually say few words. Please share your views, your insights. Ma'am, what can students do to promote the SDG 11 on the students' point of view? Can we give some kind of lectures? Can we deliver them some kind of lessons to promote the SDG 11, ma'am?
Ma'am, are you asking like as a whole, what can we do to reach student communities?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, what we can do actually to educate our young minds about the SDG 11, ma'am.
Okay, so ma'am, as per my perspective, what I have.
Yes.
Hello, I'm audible, no?
Yes,
Huh.
you are.
Yes,
Ma'am, as
yes,
per
ma'am.
my perspective, what I have been thinking is that sustainable development, this goal 11 is quite important. Like, as in, if we see every goal is important in its own way, but to make the students or to make the younger generations more aware about it, like each country is doing something unique regarding it. Like just a few days back, I have been saying regarding Netherlands, what they are doing, what Singapore is doing to make their city more sustainable. So it's important to make them
Just Haripriya Sahu, ma'am, just hold on. Yes, Haripriya Sahu, ma'am, just give me a 1 minute. Dear Astara, please continue this discussion just for 10 to 5 minutes. Then we will directly have live streaming from the Acropolis. So actually, I have to sign off for a few minutes. Okay. So Astara, please continue.
Sure,
Yes.
thank you. Yeah, carry on, Dr.
Haripriya Sahu, ma'am, please continue.
So that's what I'm saying, ma'am, that like in our place, like under Sambalpur, the university under which our college is. So in our university, it's like a compulsory syllabus, which has been in the graduation level. Students had been reading about this. That's why like our students and even I have an interest towards this. So it's necessary to include that in form of syllabus or to make them aware through some activities or regarding what policies the government is doing. So in this way, we can like include this student generation or this people to get more ideas on like what this sustainable development goals are and why it is so important to like in for the future or for their when they would be in the like in the job sectors or when they are planning for their own future. So it's important in that way to include them in a very younger age, like in their syllabus or in their subjects in that way.
Yes, I do agree with you, Dr. Haripriya. I think it can even start from what one of our previous speakers shared. We can start introducing not only SDG 11, even all other SDGs in a play and learn manner from even preschool. We instill this knowledge in these children, so it will not be something like something very new when you talk to them when they have little grown up. So I think it's a good idea, and to include it as a syllabus in schools and universities, I think it's a great idea, because everybody learn about what they're going to be, doctors, engineers, everything, but they don't learn about how to sustain their lives, protect their lives and others' life, which is so crucial for their future. What is the use of all the rolls of certificates you have, but you're living in a place where you can't even be happy? There's no peace, there's no facilities, right? So I strongly would advocate for this, that every country should incorporate SDG goals into their lessons, create syllabus. Thank you. Who want to carry on next, Christina or?
It's no problem to connecting idea of believe Iboy from Nigeria, because that is my opinion. The village are empty, and we must educate the students and the youth. After these 3 years in lockdown and in isolation, we developed our education online, hybrid. It is okay to stay at village in small rural area and have the GPS and have the antennas for the connecting on internet. They have in Nigeria and in Kenya, they have solar panels in villages, and they have for plug-in for batteries, etc. And the student and the youth can develop the nets for collecting the moisture from air, and they can make the green Africa or green villages, and they can make innovation. They do in Africa in these last 10 years. And our experience from Croatia, lots of people, young people, move from the city to the village and develop sustainable village. And we as a community, we must make the Green Grow platform where we can share the knowledge and the skills how to develop sustainable villages. Because in the city, we will have a lots of problems, but the rural area are empty, lots of opportunity what we can make. And because of that, I support Believe Iboy, because we must think what we can do with okay soil, water, plants, and wait a minute, and animals and flora and fauna on that side of megapolis. We must support more than megapolis and sustainable city. We must support rural area and community in the village. And that is my opinion. Amazing point of belief. But in Croatia, we make, after 2 big earthquake and after strong isolation, our people in Croatia run from the city to the village. That is our movements now in Croatia, because in these days in Croatia is Easter, is holiday. Our city, big city, the capital city of Croatia, is empty. 50% of our citizens are going to rural area and spend the time with families in rural area. And that is, my heart is so big, because we value the rural area and the green and the water and the life on the land there. We must make what we can do. We must support the students and the youth to make web platform for Green Grow on the rural area. Go to the rural area and make life there.
Yes, yes, exactly. People from Croatia, Georgia, they are very close to nature, because when I attend many conferences and meetings, I see that they show us many slides about their activities, and their heart is very close to village. I can see that. Thank you. Yeah, Dr.
In my
Supriya,
opinion, ma'am.
Dr. Parul can share.
Excuse me,
Dr.
ma'am.
Parul, have a share.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Dr. Parul,
yes,
you
Preeti
want to
ma'am.
share?
Just hold on, Preeti ma'am. Yes, Preeti ma'am, after having views of Dr. Parul Sharda, ma'am, then you can speak, right, Preeti ma'am?
Yes, no problem, ma'am.
Yes. Dr. Parul Sharda? Yes, Dr.
Yes,
Parul
ma'am,
Sharda,
yes.
please share your views, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, yes. So when we talk about SDG goal, first of all, namaste to all for today for goal 11. So when we talk about goal 11, what I can see is that for sustainable development, we need to be conscious about using the resources, number one. By using the optimum utilization and effective utilization of resources, we can educate the students that we are having the limited resources on this planet and we have to use it very effectively so that we all can have from now to the next 100 years. That can only be possible by the sustainable ways. So one thing that we do in our institute is to educate the students about, if you have heard about the Jugaad mentality or the frugal innovation ways, by which the limited resources, the resources which are available around us, can be used in other ways. The waste resources, for example, the waste clothes can be used for making decorative doormats, so that if we are throwing them the waste clothes in a dustbin, it will not be decomposed. But if we are using that old cloths to make some decorative things, it will be used and it will be deteriorate on its own. So this is one thing we can do. And when we talk about the limited land resource, we can educate the students. We educate the students that we need to commute in a sustainable way. We can have the pooling of cars for traveling to the long distances. We can decide one day which can be used in a week to come at the institute by walk and do not to take any vehicle which utilize any fuel. So by this way we can educate the students. One more thing what we insist our students is that we need to shop from the local vendors so that they can support their neighborhood. As Christiana ma'am just have told that we need to, she feels that the rural communities are the one who needs to be developed, who needs to be motivated. So same views I also have, that rural communities are the one who are having the lot of potential, which can the way they are living, if we utilize that kind of living, the minimalistic approach, if we apply in our lives also, we can easily achieve the goal 11. And in our institute and in many other educational institutes, we can see that there are various clubs like social club. In our social club, we do NSS kind of activity. We go to slum areas and we educate the students about how to use, how to utilize the resources, how to utilize the available resources for their development, how to make use of for example, nowadays we can see that BSc in agriculture or the agriculture industry is booming, because agriculture is a primary industry which is giving resources to the secondary industry. So nowadays we must educate the students who are in rural areas that you can be in your area only, in your villages only, and you are having the ample of opportunities. Because nowadays what we can see that the students from IITs and IIMs are leaving the high package jobs and they are coming back to their own villages and they are making ample of money, as well as they are educating the whole community that yes, by being in village also, by being in rural India also, you can do a lot for your community. So this is my views for SDG goal. There are a lot many things to talk, but as time is limited, so this is all from my side.
Excellent, excellent. Carry on, Dr. Supriya. Thank you, Dr. Parul.
Thank you, Dr. Parul, Sharda ma'am. Thank you very much. Here, Maya, are you there from Georgia? Maya, if possible, please switch on your camera. If possible, I think there is issue with the Maya. Yes, actually, Maya Glashiville from the Georgia. Actually, she just texted me about this Global Peace and Sustainable Development Summit, and she said her students wants to join the whole summit. And actually means actually I got so many messages on my messenger from the educator of Georgia. So Maya is one of the educator. Here we can say that Nino is one of the educator. So maybe in the upcoming summit, we will directly connect with the team of Georgia. And here I would like to mention that Tamar Loshliwal is one of the global convener from the land of the Georgia, who connected actually these kind of intellectual educators from the Georgia. And here one more important announcement, that all the speakers who have presented their presentation, who actually shared their views on this global platform, who already shared their views. Soon we will actually on our official WhatsApp group share a Google form link, okay, the feedback form link. Only if you will fill the feedback form link, only you are eligible to get our prestigious certificate of the Grand Global Peace Sustainable Development Summit. So first of all, you have to fill this Google form, the feedback form, whatever the instructions in is given in the Google form. So you have to fill all the instructions properly. Only then we will give you, only then actually we will provide you our Grand Global Peace and Sustainable Development certificate, which is actually empowered by the Global Empowerment Awards 2023 and the Global Pride Excellence Awards 2023. So thank you very much, all of you. Thank you, Dr. Parul Shahda ma'am. Thank you, dear Christiana. Thank you, Haripriya Sahu ma'am. Thank you, Believe sir. Thank you, Astara ma'am, for joining this open group discussion. Now, for this open group discussion, I would like to invite Preeti ma'am. Preeti Jain ma'am is the homemaker and one of the prominent student of the Expression Learning Resource Private Limited. Preeti ma'am, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Or
Yes,
if you are facing some network issue?
yes, ma'am. There is
Okay.
some
Yes,
network
Preeti
issue.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
There is
Please.
some network issue. I can't open
Uh-huh.
my video camera. According to me,
No issue, ma'am. No issue, ma'am.
according to me, I think we should start discussion on daily basis in our society, in our daily get together, in family, so that everyone can aware about not only SDG 11, all the SDG goals, and everyone can take interest for the betterment of society, for the achieving SDG goals. I think it should be start in our daily life, daily discussion also. And other speakers, as other speaker told, that it should be a part of syllabus, not only in college. It should be start in school syllabus also. So the small children will know about it, and their views, their ideas will be helpful in for achieving the SDG goal. They will learn from basics if we will start teaching of them in schools.
Yeah, I think we can also add this TV channels, radio channels, all this we can have programs on SDG as well, like what
Yes.
Preeti mentioned. Yeah, Preeti?
Yes, ma'am.
Great
It
idea.
will be very helpful for kids, and in future they will take more interest and they will can know better.
Yeah, we can even have cartoons, cartoon programs for children.
Yes, cartoon is a very good idea.
Yeah, cartoon, and then programs for adults. We can have all this. This is the fastest way to reach.
Yes, by animation movies and all, kids will take interest.
Yes, because children, they love to play, they like fun. So we have to incorporate this to educate these sustainable goals in this manner, in school, in a more serious matter way, learning, play and learn, TV cartoons, yeah, interviews with the SDG educators. So all this can help, and it's the fastest way to achieve.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely, ma'am.
Thank you. Are you done, Preeti?
Here I can read the message from the Christiana. Yes. Yes, Preeti Jain. Preeti Jain, thank you very much. Actually, Preeti Jain is one here again. I am announcing that Preeti Jain is one of the student who got actually the best presentation award. Uh, Actually, with the Estara ma'am, we actually did a competition. We did actually a workshop on that. How can we deliver the effective PowerPoint presentation? So the Preeti Jain is one of the prominent student of the expression who got the prize. So thank you, Preeti, for your
Thank you,
wonderful
ma'am.
sharing.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, it's a time to, yes, it's a time for going. Yes, thank you, dear Preeti. It's a time for going live streaming from the Acropolish group of institution. From the Acropolish group of institution, our chief guest will be Aditya Avasthi, and he will address as soon as possible. Actually, the cameras are connecting. There is some network issue, but our technical team is there. And yes, in a few minutes, we will get directly live streaming from the from the Acropolish College. Dr. Parul Sharda, I hope you will be there to experience wonderful views from the Acropolish. Okay, okay. Thank you, Dr. Parul Sharda, ma'am.
Yes,
Please
ma'am,
be
I'm
with us.
here.
Thank you, sir. Believe.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Believe. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. I can hear you.
Yes. I think Haripriya Sahu. Yes, I think Haripriya Sahu, ma'am, also wants to experience directly live streaming from the Acropolish College.
And Haripriya is also one who has received the Best Presentation Award last year.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes. Last year, actually, Haripriya Sahu, ma'am, won the Best Presentation Award for the Goal 8, Sustainable Development Goal 8. I would like to request technical team, please check the issues.
Yes, ma'am. Wait a
Actually,
minute.
in my messenger, I got, yes, yes. Actually, in my messenger, I got everyday messages related to the Global Peace and Sustainable Development Summit. But actually, I can't help because this year we got so many registrations. So many registrations means around 335 registrations we have on our Google Forms. So I can't help people's, actually more people said me, ma'am, please give me a chance to speak, to share my views on the sustainable development goals, but I have to say no, because actually there are limit, because our designer team, our creative team, is a really actually giving all efforts to make the certificates, to make the creatives. So it's a really hard to incorporate one more speakers.
Ma'am, within 5 minutes, Acropolis College will join us.
Yeah, Dr. Supriya,
Will
just
join.
now.
Okay, within 5 minutes, Acropolish will join.
Yeah, Dr. Supriya, we were all sharing. We didn't give the gentleman chance to talk. By then, we had to stop.
Yes, sure, ma'am. Sure.
Dilip,
Yes,
Dilip,
yes.
we invited him,
Yes,
but
yes.
he didn't get the chance to speak.
Believe, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Believe, sir, please tell me more about the beautiful country Nigeria, sir.
Okay. Maybe I should speak about Nigeria in terms of the Go 11. One of the things that I've done with my company, because we're into strategy development consulting, and I believe so much in this Go 11. So, and I was really very happy when Dr. Paru mentioned the circular economy. So we've been able to connect the circular economy to furniture, circular economy to fashion, and circular economy to the classroom. Now, which is not for, we believe that if the cities are clean and habitable, it's going to be better life for everyone. You're going to have longevity and all of those things. So we see, there's a lot of waste. The cities generate a lot of waste. And one of the ways you can actually keep the cities clean is to practice that circular economy in such that you're able to turn your waste into furniture, waste into fashion, and waste into the classroom. And these are three areas that are very key among other areas. So let's talk about tires. Tires are indestructible, practically indestructible. But today you now see people who are turning tires, like the car tire, I'm talking about car tires now, turning those car tires into furniture. So they take the tires, they brand it, they turn it into either chairs, tables, and all of those things. And then that's one. So then two, we have okay, let's talk about clothing right now. Most of these clothes that we're having, an average tailor uses a lot of clothes and there are a lot of pieces. Some of these pieces are also given to the furniture maker. So there's a synergy between the furniture makers and the fashion people. So every waste that you generate from your tailoring shop, pack those waste, give it to the furniture makers. They use them as pillows and as cushion on the chair, and it just makes life a little bit more interesting. The same way for the classroom, all of the waste that would generate plastic waste and all of those things actually taken to the classroom, reused or remade, repurposed, and being used in the classroom. So these are how I believe that the classroom, or the cities generally, can become a little bit more habitable when we reuse some of those waste items that we constantly throw away and we throw in our waste mines, and then it makes this waste mines basically odorous and all of those things. So the circular economy for me is a very strong strategy that can be adopted by everyone to ensure that our cities are kept clean by reusing these items in other areas. So whatever waste you have, doesn't matter the kind of waste, even nylons can be reused in particular industry. So you cannot talk about industrialization, which is a major function of the urban cities, and not talk about how you can actually reuse the waste that those urban cities are constantly generating from their heavy duty activities. And circular economy is the answer to that, and which is a function of waste management. So waste in this case, waste, like they say, is wealth if you know how to harness those waste and turn them into wealth. And that's for us is how we've been able to reuse, recycle, and remake some of these things that we refer to as waste into everyday uses that can actually be can make the cities more habitable by reusing these things in our daily lives. So for the cities. So at Nigeria, I have a friend that has what we call a fitness workout of a system that helps in cleaning the cities. So they go to very dirty places, they clean it up, and all of those things that they pick up from those places, they send them out to different countries. And it's actually a revenue stream, because when they send it out to companies and all of those people pay them for those things that are supposed to be waste. And I just feel that if we are intentional, so there's business opportunity in it. I think that's what actually interests people. If you do not see the business opportunity in it, you might not even want to get involved in the first instance. So see that it's possible for you to have a business opportunity from that process. And then as you are trying to make the cities more sustainable, you are earning from that process, you are making money from the process, earning a living from the process, and you're becoming more wealthy from the process. And that is an angle you can look at it from. That actually interests people. Now, yeah, the issue of passion is going to be there anyway, but beyond the passion, beyond the will to want to give back to the community, if you know that you can actually make a living or make a career out of the process, you want to take it even more seriously. And those are the issues that we need to consider in ensuring that we build sustainable cities and communities across board.
Yes, incredible ideas, Sir Belief. But can I ask you one question?
Yes.
The Belief.
I didn't get your question.
there's some background noise, so I stopped. Okay.
Yeah, okay, okay.
The belief.
Yes, ma'am.
I feel that we have to start immediately educating the children from today itself, because
Yeah.
if we delay in educating children, whatever efforts we make in achieving all the sustainable goals will be slow. It takes longer to achieve because we may do all improvement, but the future generation will be destroying it or will not sustain it, maintain it. What do you think about it?
Okay, that is why I talked about the circular economy in the classroom.
Yes.
So the circular economy in the classroom is you trying to make children understand that basically everything they have today can be reused, can be remade, can be recycled. And once they understand that, now we know the keeping pens in plastic containers that you remake. So if the kids know how to do those things, it makes it easier for them to be able to know that they can actually reuse some of those things in the classroom. Let's talk about classroom materials, what we call instructional materials in the classroom. So many instructional materials, most of us in Africa, we import a lot of those things from other countries. But there are things that we can actually reuse from our everyday life, and then we use them in the classroom. So when the teachers know, so if actually talk about the classroom, it's in Africa, we have more privately owned schools in Africa. Like, let me use Nigeria per se, not Africa. In Nigeria, we have more privately owned schools than government-owned schools. So that means if the owners of those schools, if the teachers in those schools understand that they can actually reuse items in the classroom, they can reuse items in the classroom, then it's easier for them to transmit that knowledge to the students. So that means, yes, the young girl who spoke talked about how we can include cartoons and all of those things. Fantastic idea. That's how you can. Those are how you are teaching the students. Now you are teaching the students about these things. I'm talking about the usage of those items comes from the people who are going to make those items. Why the students are aware that these things can be reused, can be made through the cartoons, through the movies, but some people are actually doing the work of remaking those things. And that is where the teacher comes to play. And that is the circular economy in the classroom. So if the teachers are aware and they are taught on how to use those things, different things for instructional materials, for anything, for instructional materials, for the what do you call classroom activities and all of those things, when teachers know how to use them, then it becomes easy for them to transfer that knowledge to the students. And then you have the everyday circular economy.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Yes. Yes. Thank you, sir, Believe, for your wonderful inputs to address the SDG 11. Yes, it's a time to going live directly from the Acropolis Institute of Technology. Yes. Can we have the switch on camera from the Acropolis Institute of Technology? The both cameras are getting ready from the Acropolis Institute of Technology. Actually, today we have to wait a lot due to some technical glitches.
These are the challenges we got to face on online sessions, but it still works so much that we have to travel every time to meet.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so wonderful. It doesn't matter.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Actually, our team is there. Acropolis is a very big college, and actually, Acropolis is doing lots of efforts to educate their young minds. Recently, the Acropolis Group of Institution Actually, the students and the faculty members made a robot, and the name of this robot is Traffic Mitra. Yes, the name of the robot is Traffic Mitra. So actually, I would like to enlighten about you this Traffic Mitra robot. I'm sharing my screen about the Traffic Mitra robot. I'm sharing the images of traffic robot in Indore. Just hold on. I'm sharing the images. Yes, I am sharing the screen. Just hold on. Yes. Please, I'm going to share my screen. Dear Estara, could you see my screen?
I can see. No, just now it was there. Then.
Okay, but my voice is not coming, right?
Yeah. Just now. Now I can hear you.
Okay. I don't know what is this kind of issues there. Okay. Aditya Avasthi sir, Kalash sir, if you have any problem for the live streaming, sir, no issue. We can join on Zoom link also, sir. The student of Acropolish and all the faculty members who are going to represent their views on SDG 11, they can join. Yes. Here is the first screen we can see. I'm adding the spotlight. Yes. We did it. Now we did it. Yes, just hold on. Sure. Yes, so here is the beautiful students, beautiful moderators we can see from the Acropolish group of institution. Thank you, dear moderators. Thank you very much for joining the stage. Thank you very much. Yes, our dignitaries from the Acropolish group of institution are joining us in a few moments. You can see here the both screens. The one screen is the directly from the main stage where our dignitaries will take their seats, and the other screen you can see all the students and all the participants, all the patients, listeners are sitting. Here I would like to mention that in the screen of the audience there are the two most actually dedicated people there, Sir Kalas Sethi and the Lisa ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you, Sir Kalas Sethi, and thank you, Lisa ma'am. Actually, just because of your rigorous efforts, sir, we are going to be live directly from the Acropolis Institute. Actually, we are live from the Acropolis Institute. Just in a few minutes, our dignitaries will present their views. Haripriya Sahu ma'am, what is your experience, ma'am? Tell me, ma'am, what are you feeling?
Ma'am, actually, I've been first time I'm seeing this Acropolis Institute of Technology and Research, and like Sustainable Development Goal 13 is going to be Imperial's College. So
Yes, yes. On the
most
goal
likely,
13, yes. On the goal 13, the students and faculty members will participate.
yeah, so I've been saying that this is how we need to also do, and we have been
Yeah,
actually
sure, ma'am.
this that how we would also do this thing.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I would like to start. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Khushi Gupta. And I, Ananya Pemgirikar, moderator for today's event, the Global Peace and Sustainable Development. The goal 17 member states in 2015 as part of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, in which set out a 15-year plan to achieve the goals. It is day 11 of this esteemed summit where I would like to share this proud moment where Acropolis Group of Institutions is one of the centers for this event, Indore, India. Today's event is being conducted with Road Track Club of Acropolis Royals in collaboration with Witty Gossip and Expression Learning Resources. I would like to take a moment to extend a warm welcome to all our extended speakers and attendees who have joined us today over here. Before we proceed with our discussion, I would like to invite Mr. Kalas Sethi from CPBFI Certificate Program in Banking, Finance and Insurance as Institutional Sales Head. He has over 7 years of experience working in the education industry. Currently, he works as the Institutional Sales Head at Expressions Learning Resources Employability Program, where he leads a cross-functional team of 7, building unique products that are helping people achieve more in their career. He is deeply passionate about creating loved and trusted products that help people navigate their careers and achieve their career goals. And Ms. Lisa Sharma, as Senior Manager Academics and Soft Skills Teaching, is her God realization. She is a senior trainee speaker, global convener and educator, experienced English language instructor with a demonstrated history, more than 9 years of working in the e-learning industry. Skilled in soft skills, communication, training, mentoring, and writing strong educational professional backgrounds from Witty Gossips as our guest speaker for the day. Insights and perspectives are eagerly awaited. I would request Sir and Ma'am to please take their seats on the dais. Following the cue, I would like to invite our chief guest for this event, Mr. Anand Dewas, who identifies his work as an intersection between behavior, work, and social impact. He has clocked in over 400 plus hours in training with students, teachers, startups, and non-profits. I would request you, sir, to please take your seat on the dais. Next, I would like to invite Professor Dr. D.P. Verma, advisor at Rohtak Club of Acropolis Royals, to please join us on the dais. Now, I would request D.P. Ma'am to please give the floral welcome to Lisa Ma'am. Next, to Kalash sir. And to Aditya sir. Before we begin, I request everyone to take a moment for the lamp ceremony, symbolizing the pursuit of knowledge and enlightenment.
Kena pernah dahil sa bulang mo? Nay?
Thank you, everyone. Now, I would like to invite our chief guest, Mr. Aditya Avasthi, to please carry on with his presentation and share his valuable insights for this topic.
All right, a very good morning to everybody present here and to my friends on the screen as well, who I hope can see me and hear me as well. Right, I'm gonna wave at the camera. So today, of course, this is a part of something that has been ongoing, and I thank Expressions Learning and Witty Gossip for putting this up together. What a brilliant way to talk about some of the things that are very important, some of the things that are the focal point for a lot of people around the globe. So from that particular standpoint, yes, I especially appreciate that this is an ongoing conversation format, because that's essentially how most of these things work anyway. And then today, I'm glad that I was invited to continue this conversation with you, and then hopefully I can add some value to it, right? We will be talking about UN SDG 11, which is essentially focused on building sustainable cities, right? And then I have the privilege to sort of leave out the theoretical stuff, which, my friends are going to be covering later on. And I can then focus more on probably giving you a call to action in the limited time that I have here. Now, in order to do that, it is important that all of us are on the same page with respect to the mindset at which we are looking at this particular goal. Yeah. So let's get that down first. In order to understand this goal, before we even begin to achieve it, we need to understand what this goal represents. And what this goal essentially represents is how we live together. How do we live in cities? How do we build cities that are not only sustainable, but are also inclusive, but are also providing equal opportunities to everybody and ensuring sustenance on a daily level, right? So this goal is essentially about what is known as human civilization. Yeah. Now, what is the most important progress that humans have made in civilization? Or if I had to ask you, at what point in history can we say that this was the first evidence of civilization emerging? What do you think that was? Any ideas? What point in history, or what point on the timeline, or what event in history can you put a circle around and say that at this point is when the human civilization started flourishing? When they started using resources, all right. Interesting. Anybody else? Any other guesses? Was it the invention of something? Was it the discovery of something? Any ideas? At what point can we say that the human civilization somehow became better than every other species on the planet? What is that one thing that made it so? What was the greatest moment in the history of our civilization that ensured at that particular moment, that guaranteed at that particular moment that we were going to be the most dominant species on the planet? What was that one point? The use of resources is one answer. Does anybody else would like to venture any other guesses? Invention of wheel, in discovery of fire, agriculture, hunting, weapons, opposable thumbs, right? I'm hoping like this, these are kind of things that you were thinking about, right? Now, you want to say something? Needs and wants, all right. So when we started recognizing what we needed and what we wanted, figured out a way to get it. Interesting. The similar question was asked to Margaret Mead, who is a very famous anthropologist. And she was asked the same question, what do you think, at what point in history was the human civilization sort of guaranteed to become successful? And then she said that the evidence of the human civilization, or the first evidence of humans civilizing, was the healing of a broken femur, the healing of the thigh bone, which is the most difficult bone in the body to heal. If your femur breaks, it takes the longest to heal. But in those times, when essentially we were hunters and gatherers, a broken femur meant that you could not defend yourself. You could not go out to find food. You could not build shelter. You could not get warmth. A broken femur meant death. If a broken femur has healed, the only way it could have healed in that time is if there was another human being who sat beside you, brought you food, defended you from predators, built you a shelter, and provided you warmth. So the first evidence of civilization or human civilization was the evidence of empathy. The first time we developed empathy for each other is essentially when the human civilization started flourishing. This goal is directly related to that mindset. How do we build cities that are empathetic to everybody? How do we build structures? How do we build communities that essentially have space for everybody? Right? And I'll give you my quick call to action, but I'll give you another reason why we have not been able to do so. Right? There's this game I'm assuming that everybody has played around the globe. It's called musical chairs. How many people have played it? Yeah. So everybody understands the rules of this game, right? There's going to be a bunch of chairs like this. We're not going to play it, right? To demonstrate. So I hope like you can look it up or something. But we've got a line of chairs, right? And then there's going to be music played. And ideally, what's going to happen is there'll be one person more than the number of chairs. Yeah. So if 6 people are playing, there are going to be 5 chairs. As soon as the music stops, the 5 people who are able to find a chair win, and the one person is eliminated. This is exactly how we've been building our cities, unfortunately. Right? People who can find work get to stay. People who can find a house get to stay. People who have money to buy land get to stay. People who can afford water get to stay. People who can afford food get to stay. Everybody else chucked out. Right? There's another way of playing musical chairs which I learned from a friend in Japan. What they do in Japan in schools when they're teaching musical chairs is the exact same setup. There are 6 people, 5 chairs, music plays, everybody runs around. But when the music stops, if everybody hasn't found a place to sit, they all lose. Which essentially means that somehow you have to accommodate 6 people in 5 chairs, and that becomes the team's responsibility. How it gets better is that in the next round, there are the same six people, but only 4 chairs. And then the next round, there are same 6 people, but only 3 chairs. And you have to find a way to fit everybody in. Otherwise, everybody loses. And that's the kind of sustainability and inclusivity that we need to build in when we come to this particular goal, right? And in order to do that, what becomes extremely important is that this inclusivity starts with the way that we measure how our cities are built and how our cities are doing. So where I come in essentially is in the last few years, I've had the opportunity to work with certain projects, certain initiatives by the US Department of State, by UNESCO, by WHO Youth Epivin Network. And our focus has majorly been on monitoring and evaluation and then building the community from ground up. One of these projects, we did it with Acropolis students here about 2 to 3 years ago, right? In all these projects, what becomes extremely important is that in order to build inclusive cities, we need to build cities which allow remote populations, which allow underprivileged populations, which allow populations in urban slums to sort of come on the map. And I'm introducing the word map here because that is going to be my call to action to all of you today. But before I give you that, let me tell you why it is so. You will find a lot of information around why this goal is important. And I'm assuming the speakers that will follow me will cover this in great depth. I'm not getting into that. What I'm getting into is that this is one of the most underreported goals across the world. The progress on this goal is the most difficult to track because in order to track the progress of UN SDG 11, and this comes from the monitoring and evaluation work that we've done across the world, right, is that there is very limited technology in a lot of countries to give data from ground up, right? I'm assuming you have all heard of GPS. Yeah, everybody knows what GPS is, right? You guys represent 10% of the population of the world that has access to GPS on a regular basis, right? The rest of the world doesn't. There is a large part of the population, almost 54% of these goals are not able to track data from the ground up because those populations don't have the technology to report data from the ground up. And that's where citizen engagement comes in, right? So to put it very simply, there are a lot of countries in the world that do not know how many hospitals exist in a particular city. There are a lot of countries in the world who are not able to do their planning better because they don't know how much waste is being generated in their areas, right? Now, this data becomes extremely important. And this is essentially where we come in. Because we always think that this data and statistics is essentially a problem of the government, right? Probably UNDP people will come in and they'll probably do an assessment and they're going to do a survey. They'll tell us what's what, and then they'll tell us what we need to do. And we will be the executing party. But that's where we're lacking, right? The UN SDGs, essentially, the crux of the UN SDGs, the demand for the UN SDGs came in primarily because tier 2 and tier 3 countries, right? Underdeveloped and developing countries essentially said that, you know, the UN SDG framework needs to be determined according to what is compatible for us, not what the developed world thinks. In the same way, in order to achieve UN SDG 11 also, in order to build any city in the world, we need to first build a map. How many of you have ever built a map in your life? Good. Perfect. How many of you have built a map of the colony that you live in? Good. Very nice. These maps are far more important than you may think they are. It's extremely important because most urban planning requires geospatial data, and geospatial data begins with plotting it on a map. Even if we don't get into the technicalities of it, I hope you can appreciate the sense of it, right? That the first thing that I need to build a house for myself is an architectural plan. Now imagine if I'm trying to build a city. Imagine if I'm trying to build a state, a province, a country. The first thing that I need is accurate maps. And citizen-based mapping is one of the greatest initiatives that can help us achieve UN SDG 11 by 2030. Because citizen-based mapping ensures that you have the power to report what is happening on the ground. Just to give you how important this particular initiative is, I'm going to show you certain maps, right? And I'm not going to give you any context behind it, right? But when you look at these particular maps, this is the map of Indore city where we are right now. Yeah. These dots represent 1,000 different things, right? But the important bit is all of these maps were created by these people who look exactly like you look. Yeah. Students of this very college went out in groups of about 250 kids, knocked on every hospital door, every clinic door, every pharmacy door, every slum household, and they put them on the map. They told us how many services the hospital offers. They told us how many medicines the pharmacy offers. They told us how many people are in the health risk zones in slum households. And this is the data that came out of it. And this data essentially is one of the crucial things that actually helped us during COVID emergency preparedness in the 2021 wave, right? The data that was built by students who once sat in these halls, right? This life-saving data. This is data that has told us that in urban slums, Indore needs to build innovations, Indore needs to build technologies that can actually help with waste management because it is not happening there. This data essentially told us that there are clusters where there are no hospitals available in the entire city for the population. This data told us that there is an entire set of residents, over 2,000 to 3,000 of them, for whom the closest hospital is 11 kilometers away, which is very, very difficult when we are trying to improve healthcare access. Where did this data come from? This data came from your mobile phones, people who were willing to take their phones out in the street, punch what they see, talk about the problems that they're seeing, and help build the city from ground up. And that is what UNSDG 11 requires. Because in the community action initiatives that we have taken in order to build cities, what we've always noticed is you cannot build a city if the citizens don't want it, are not a part of the development efforts, right? As much as you need a map, you also need citizen engagement. So this is my call to action for you guys. Of all the things that the UNSDGs can tell us and the different ways in which we can engage them, I want you to add one more thing. Get into the habit of creating maps. Go out, look at the buildings that you see around you, see what's broken, see what needs fixing, see where the plumbing is broken, see where waste is being disposed out in the open, see where there are people sleeping out on the footpaths, see where there is an empty building that is not being used right now, and map it. There are multiple tools. One of these that we worked with, which is an open source organization, which anybody of you can use, which is very quick, takes about 7 to 8 hours to train in how to build a map, right? Which is called OpenStreetMaps. Is one of the things that I would recommend you take a look at, right? But get into the habit of building maps of the places around you, because these maps are essentially what is going to be the first and the most crucial step in getting us data from the ground. Once we have this data, then we can do a lot of urban planning initiatives with much more informed decision making, right? With much more sustainability, right? With much more inclusivity in terms of that decision making. Think of it as a town hall meeting, because that's where the power lies with you, right? No head of the state is going to be able to visit the same number of lanes in your colony that you have visited. Basic fact. Yeah. So then essentially you are an expert in your area. No head of state is. Nobody else on the planet is an expert in the area that you live in apart from you. So why not utilize that expertise, right? And just by utilizing that expertise, you can essentially contribute a lot to UNSDG 11. So that's my call to action for you today. I hope that you go out and start creating maps. I think that's enough for one day. Yeah. All right. Thank you. I think we'll have to stop sharing.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable words and contribution. I'm sure our audience must have got a lot to learn from this. Continuing with our discussion, I would like to invite Ms. Aparna Pillai, Vice President at Rotary Club of Acropolis Lawyers, Indore, India, as our student guest and student speaker to present her thoughts on global peace and sustainable development.
Before starting the presentation of students from the Acropolis, I would like to say, dear Estara ma'am from the Malaysia and dear Christiana ma'am from the Croatia, ma'am, please make the notes of all the presentations. And after the completing of presentations, we actually have to share our views on the all presentations, ma'am. Thank you very much. Now, moderators and the student speakers, please go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, everyone present over here. And today I'll be talking about Sustainable Development Goal 11, SDG Goal number 11. So basically, the Sustainable Development Goal aims to make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. So first of all, before moving into SDG 11, we should know what sustainability actually is. How many people here know what sustainability is? Okay, from 6th class onwards, I'm listening the same definition, that fulfilling our present needs without compromising future needs, right? Sustainability. So here, from that sustainability, we are going to achieve 17 goals till 2030. And today we'll be talking about goal number 11. Okay, so it focuses on improving access to basic services and upgrading slums. Now, what are the challenges facing achieving SDG 11? Number one, rapid urbanization and inadequate urban planning. India is so varied that we have forests, we have rural areas, we have urban areas. Okay, forests need forests need zero amount of human intervention to sustain. Rural areas need some amount of human interventions with nature. The rural areas more connected to nature, and urban. At urban areas, we are around 25% connected to nature. How many of you have trees around your house? Okay, wow. How many of you have tree or a plant inside your house? How many of you have? Nice, very proud of you. Please clap for yourselves. We are connecting to nature. Humans are connecting to nature. Even I work in a company who built their own office, a mud office, to represent sustainability, that humans are more productive when they are connected to nature. When a human is connected to nature, when he is in the cube of nature, he has his fullest potential. He can come up with his fullest potential. When we have our lunch breaks, we go to sit under the tree. We want to spend more time in nature, and we have a flash of ideas. We have a stream of force of ideas that, yeah, I can do this. After lunch, I can do that. We get energy when we are around nature. So with rapid urbanization and inadequate urban planning, the number of trees in urban areas, the sustainability, the resources in urban areas is decreasing. Lack of access to basic services such as water, sanitation, and energy. That's inadequate in urban areas. Like not everyone have the equal amount of resources with them. And number three, insufficient investment in sustainable transport and infrastructure. We can see that in many buildings or many buses, there is no facility for a disabled person to travel or to use that facility. Many of us have seen that how this person can travel in that bus, or how this person can get into that building. I am able to move because I am grateful that I have legs. But what about that person who is using a wheelchair? There is no such facility in many areas that everyone can use. Now, why SDG 11 is important? Number one, it promotes sustainable urban development. Number two, it addresses inequalities. And number three, It builds resilience to disaster and climate change. Now, everyone would be thinking like how it would build resilience to disaster and climate change. Yeah, we talked about urban development. We talked about addressing inequalities. But what about disaster and climate change? Okay, so how many of you know about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam? Everybody has listened to it, right? The whole world is one family. Matlab, how? Matlab, we are aiming that we are going to achieve that SDG goals till 2030, and our ancestors already invented that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world is one family. We all belong to each other. We all are interdependent to each other. And Aditya sir said that empathy was the point where civilization started. Okay. So if we all believe, we all recognize that we all are a family. We belong to the nature, I belong to you, you belong to me, we belong to the society, we belong to the community, we belong to the nature. And when we recognize that, at that point, we can achieve all the goals. We will only build all the policies. We will only put our inputs to how can we achieve that, how can we sustain our family? How can we take everyone together to grow together? How can we save resources for our future generations? At that point, we will realize that why the SDG 11 or all the 17 goals are important for us. Now, there are 10 targets of SDG 11, and I have mixed all 10 into the 4 points. Number 1, to make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. By inclusive, I am talking about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Okay, I will show off my culture. I am going to show off that I am Indian. I am going to show off that my culture already discovered that we all belong to one family. Okay, so I will speak this word many times in this presentation. Number 2, ensure access to safe and affordable housing and basic services. So about this, I want to talk that many rural people migrate to urban cities, urban areas to find a job or to grow. But due to the high standards of a city, they are not able to find a proper living, which can compromise sanitation, which can compromise food, which can compromise clothing. The standards we have built is so high that a rural person who wants to grow, who wants to migrate, cannot survive in a city, or it's difficult for him to survive. We have to make an environment which is inclusive for everyone. And number 3, provide sustainable transport systems for all, with special attention to the needs of those in vulnerable situations, women, children, persons with disabilities, and older people. How we can achieve sustainable development? Goal number 11. Educate and raise awareness. Okay, we all know that through education we can transform the world. How many of you are ready right now to do that? Please clap for us. If you are ready to educate even a small child that right now we need to take care of our resources so that you can use it in your future, then we all are part of this initiative. Right now also we are educating, we are raising awareness, but how many of you are recognizing that you are a part of this family, you are a part of this world, you are a part of the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam? At that point, it has a point. Me speaking about this topic has a point. Number 2, promote community participation. Okay, can I have an idea? Just one idea. How can we promote community participation? Any one of you? How can we do that?
As we are talking about the upliftment of all those people who are living in slum areas. So we are bringing them to the rural, we are doing some of the other things to make this environmental sustainable. So in that case, we would be definitely including, as we talk about inclusivity. So that point obviously confirms that we will be promoting the community.
That's great. That's great. That's a great thought. How we can help the rural people. If they are aiming for growth, how can we help them to live in this society, which is inclusive, which is resilient, which is safe, and which is sustainable? And number 3, embrace traditional knowledge and practices. Again, I'm going to show off that I am an Indian. I am going to show off that my ancestors already told that what is that we need in our future. How cool is that I belong from India, whose ancestors already know that what the future is going to hold. So by getting those traditional knowledge and practices in our daily life can help. Like my company built a mud office. They have bamboo roofing. They have a garden outside the office area. I asked my sir that what's the point of building a mud office? Why are you doing this? It takes too much time to build this, right? You are only building this. Why are you not using the workers to do that? He said that we live in a society. We humans are emotional creatures. Okay, we all are connected with empathy. If we all are connected together, we can grow together. Okay, by creating opportunities for growth to other people, they will make me to grow. Now, how can we do that? I asked him. He said that by boosting productivity. Like productivity by mud office? I asked him. He said that, yeah, exactly. The human who is a part of nature, when is connected to nature, has the highest potential when performed. Our office timings are 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. Okay, and we work in a mud office which has proper ventilation, a wall of window which connects us from the sunlight the whole day. And right now, I am coming from my office. I work there, and I am here during presentation. I'll go back there and still have the same energy level throughout the day. Like how magical it is when we are connected to the nature. So yeah, embracing the traditional knowledge and practices connects us to the nature more, creates us opportunities to connect and do and achieve the sustainable development goal, all the goals, all the 17 goals. Okay. Investing in sustainable cities and communities is not only our responsibility, but also an opportunity to create a better world for ourselves and future generations. Thank you all for joining the movement.
Thank you so much, Aparna, for your valuable perspectives. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Kanak Sharma, Membership and International Service Director at Rotaract Club of Acropolis Royals, as a student speaker for this event.
Firstly, very thank you to both the moderators, to all the generous people sitting on the dais here. Today, I am standing in front of you, not as a part of just the Rotaract Club of Acropolis Royals, but also as a part of this community. Why are we sitting over here today? What's the motive for us to be here today? As Aditya sir and Aparna ma'am already discussed about the SDG number 11. So what is it?
Sustainable Development Goal number 11, which is again a part of the total 17 goals formed and established by the United Nations General Assembly in 2015. You have been hearing since the very start of this session that Sustainable Development Goal number 7 is making cities as well as human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. But how many people sitting over here knows the meaning of all these 4 words? May I know if anyone can tell me what is the meaning of resilient? What's the meaning of inclusivity? What's the meaning of safe? What's the meaning of sustainable? Well, sustainable was just explained to you all by Aparna. I first would like to tell you that what we are discussing about. So inclusivity means that we are including all those people, all particular factor of this community from all over the nations, all over the world, to come together and work and make a particular community, and hence we can join hands and work for the sustainable nature, for environmental sustainability. This is what inclusivity means. Coming on to resilient. Resilient means that we have a strong factor that we can achieve and we can go through any of the factors that we would be hurted by. How many countries today are more powerful to go through all those disasters, all those natural calamities attained by them? Well, till today, I've just heard about China and Japan to be the most development countries who can actually achieve a very fast overgrowth after achieving any of the disaster. But why not other countries? Why not India is one of them? Why not Africa is one of them? And why we are sitting here, did nothing about it and still enjoying our lives? Well, today, moving forward with my own presentation, I would like to tell you some of the facts that today, the cities from all over the nations, from all over the world, occupy just 3% of the total earth land, whereas they account around 60 to 80% of the total energy consumption and 75% of the greenhouse. I was just saying that the carbon emission. Greenhouse gases, we have been learning about them since we were in class 6 to 7th, I guess. We know how harmful they are. We know how bad effect they put on our environment. How many of you have heard about the hole in our ozone layer of our environment? And how many of you all know that what we have done to prevent any other hole to be getting in any other layer of our atmosphere? So before moving forward, few more thoughts. But we all are here for a cause. I, being a speaker, want each and every person sitting over here to learn some or the other thing and not just leave the room and forget about any of the factors or any of the facts or any of the presentation presented by all the speakers right here today. Because that would just go a waste for not only today, as discussed about the SDG goal number 11, but about all those 17 goals that have been discussed in all these days. This event, we should be very honored that we are a part of such a huge event, that we are able to discuss about one of the goals, which is a national, not only a national, but also an international, established by United Nations General Assembly. So we are very grateful, and I would like to give a huge round of applause to the Institute as well as to the Rotary Club of Acropolis Royals for giving us this opportunity to be able to stand before you all. Now, let me first ask you all. Let me first ask you all that how many of the people around the whole world resides in slums? Any particular number? Any particular number? Well, let me tell you, 833 million people reside in slums at today's date, which is a huge shock. 833 million people. whereas half of the humanity, 3.5 billion people, reside in cities today. And let me make you sure of this, that this number will keep on growing. This number will keep on growing as the future lies only in the urban cities for majority of the people. Now, let me first discuss you all the total agenda that we would be learning all about today. So firstly, I would be telling you about the introduction, the total introduction of what SDG goal number 11 is, what its belonging is, as I have already told you the meaning of the SDG goal, which is make cities as well as human settlements resilient, safe, inclusive, and sustainable. Why is it important to achieve the SDG goal number 11? How we can measure, how the targets of SDG 11 help us to achieve all these goals 17. What are the activities that get included in this? What are the steps to achieve all these? What are the activities that actually oppose all these goal number 11? And why they matter to all of us. I will be taking few questions which would be arising in your all of your minds, and then later on after the session. But before that, let's move on with the introduction. So as I already told you, SDG goal number 11, it's a part of all those 17 goals. It is established by UN General Assembly in 2015 as a part of the 2030 agenda for the sustainable development. The goal, as I already told you, is to make the cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. We are sitting over here, we should be knowing each and every factor that affects our environment, because though we're using all the resources being provided by the environment, but in the return, what are we giving back? Nothing. 0%. And that's where we should question ourselves. We should question our own presence in this world. That we are just taking in and we are doing nothing at all to provide something in a good manner back to the environment. Why Indore is being treated as the cleanest city in India? Why it can't be any other city? Why we are doing so grateful to be So why Indore is the only city to be the most smartest, the cleanest city in a whole India? And why not any other city? Because we sitting here do some bits of it to achieve some or the other thing in our own environment. We achieved this all 17 goals in 2015. But before that, there was a huge guidelines. There was a huge timeline that made us achieve all these things. And it all started back in 1972, when a conference led to the establishment of United Nations Environmental Program, which helped us to get to know about all those different factors where we were belonging to, where we were actually able to make a difference, and we were actually going to allow all of us to make a difference in all these nations. This movement, this conference then converted into a commission in 1983, which again led to a formation of agenda number 21 in 1992. But before moving forward to 2015, during the tenure of 2000s, again, a Millennium Sustainable Development Goal was also established to attain all these goals. But what made to change this into Sustainable Development Goal number 11? Or Sustainable Development Goals 17. There was a huge difference that we could feel that we needed to take a step back and forth every second of our lives to think about it and to do about it, or much more than we are just living and enjoying our lives. Why is it important to us? As I can see over here, many people are yawning, many people are thinking that why are we here? There's no motive to be here. But let me tell you, my dear friends, 10 years later, 5 years later, you will realize how important it is to live in a sustainable development environment, to do everything in a sustainable way, to do some of the other bits in every second of your life, and how huge that difference can make in the whole world nations today. So why is it important? Achieving sustainable development is essential for preserving natural resources and biodiversity, mitigating the impacts of climate change, promoting social equity and reducing poverty, and promoting economic growth and innovation. By adopting sustainable practices and working together, we can achieve sustainable development goals. We can create a better future for ourselves as well as all the future generations who will be coming with all those hopes to live in a better environment. How can we measure all these goals? As I'm talking about what it means, what are the highlights, but how? How can we measure them? What we can do to actually make that happen? So the promotion of urban population living in slums and informal settlements. As I already told you, 833 million people live in slums today, whereas 3.5 billion people reside in cities. And as these numbers will keep on growing. But to make this number keep on growing, we need to promote all those people who are living in slums. And how we will do this, I'll let you know about all these things in the targets that are discussed in this SDG 11 itself. SDG 11 has total of 10 targets along with 15 indicators. So what are these targets and indicators? Can anyone tell me what are targets and indicators? A normal definition of what target is. I guess that is a very usable word in all of our lives. So target is what we need to achieve. Goal, exactly. Aims. Whereas indicators are the matrices that help us to track how much we have achieved. So this is what. These will help you to actually track all those achievements. So you need to give the access to the basic services. How many of you people have proper water and sanitation and electricity production or availability in your houses? Most of them, every one of them. Let me consider every one of them. But how many of you think how many of those people living in slums today have all these accessible resourcefulness in their daily life? How many? As it was stated earlier that we represent just 10% of the GSPUs, right? How much percent? I don't think so. Only 2% of the people residing in the slums today also might be getting such better access to all these things. Though these are the basic needs. We need it for the survival. And since they're not getting that, we are still doing nothing for that. Greenhouse emissions per capita from urban areas. We can measure the greenhouse gases that are being emitted from a particular region. And we can do some of the other things to control those emissions. So how many of you all know what are these gases that comes under greenhouse gas emissions? Okay, so let me tell you all, let me remind you all because you already know about this. Carbon dioxide, methane, fluorescenides, all these gases, CH4, all these gases, they come under the greenhouse gases and these are very harmful, so much harmful that the atmospheric layers which are being protecting us from the ultraviolet rays also couldn't get least affected with them, but created a hole in the ozone layer itself. The proportion of the urban population living in areas at risk of natural disasters. As I talked about resilient, how we can put ourselves in a strong position that no matter what affects us, no matter what hits us, we are ready, we are acceptable towards going through all those things. Number of deaths, missing persons, person affected by disasters per 1 lakh people in the urban areas. And this unit, 1 lakh people, is not about the whole world, but this is just including the facts, the number of people from the country which get affected from disasters the most. Can anyone tell me which country is that? China. This is just of a particular urban area. And all these people get missed. We can't see them again. And why? Because we are not that resilient to all those factors that we could have been. As I was talking about the targets of the SDG 11, so here we have some of the targets. These are the 10 targets which are being followed under the SDG 11, and the first one is safe and affordable housing. As I've been talking about people living in slums, as I've been talking about we living in cities. So we living in cities have a better access to all those housing, all those criteria that are provided by our ancestors to us. But not every one of them have a great and a basic access to all those safe and affordable housing. And hence, we need to provide a better access to the safe and affordable housing to all the particular person residing in this world. Affordable and sustainable transport systems. Why not everyone has the affordability to work or to use the transports? We can reduce the traffic rules, we can reduce the traffic jams at so many places only if we will promote the use of transport systems. We can decrease the number of accidents that can be caused. Why are we using a single particular vehicle just to move from one place to another when you are the single person and you can use the transport? All these simple thoughts, all these bits of simple steps can also help us create a sustainable environment around us. Inclusive and sustainable urbanization. We can work together, we can promote the accessibility, we can promote the coming together of all those particulars in all these nations to live a better life, to get access to all those basic needs. And hence, we can promote the inclusiveness and sustainable urbanization. Protect the world's culture and natural heritage. Why are we forgetting about all our ancestors, about all our heritages? Why do we need to remind you all? Because we are happy to be living in a particular environment that we have created for ourselves. But we are forgetting so many things in that we standing out here can also get so many things rather than what we are getting already. We are today forgetting about all those cultures. Okay, let me first ask you all, how many people sitting here today have done the pujas at their home and then came to this college? A great number, I will not lie, a great number. But what about those who have not done it? Why are we not doing it? We all know there's a super power residing above us. No matter how science can deny that, no matter how better the facts can prove it, but we somewhere or the other, we feel that we have a supranational power. We have it over us, and still we are sitting here forgetting about all our cultural heritages. Next point is to reduce the adverse effect of natural disasters, to be perfectly resilient, to get the strong hold. And we might be talking about fine, all these factors should be taken in under by the government itself. But why to put someone other in blame? Why to play the blame game in every each other's ball court when we can do some or the other thing? when we can join some movements, when we can actually make the people move forward just by doing a bit of it. Reducing the environmental impacts of cities. How many of you think that we sitting in cities do not cause pollution? None. Because even Indore is stated as the cleanest city, I can see majority of the students in this college itself do not use the garbage bins. Why is that? When we have this great facility of actually put all those garbage bins in every 10 meters of our college, if I'm not wrong, in every classes. Still, that's where we are lacking. That's where the backwardness of us comes in. Because we are no matter moving so high, we are no matter moving so ahead in our life, we are progressing. But still, we will not be able to progress until and unless we are progressing in a matter of environmental sustainability. We need to provide access to safe and inclusive green and public spaces. Now, what is green public spaces? Green public spaces refers to a space where each and every individual, no matter what sexuality it belongs to, no matter what difference they hold, no matter what culture differences they hold, leaving all those rationals behind, we can stand together, we can share a particular space, and we are doing it right now, sitting in this auditorium. So this is how we can promote the inclusive green public spaces. Strong national and regional development planning. We can also develop. Why do we need to be dependent on someone else to give us the planning and we would be executing it? Why? When we could be the only people who actually could have planned and executed and moved forward with all those planned and plotted formulations to actually make this world a better place for every individual, we might not know that we are actually creating a better life for them. Implement policies for inclusion, resource efficiency, and disaster risk reduction. As I already talked about this in the previous points. So I'll skip this and moving forward to the next point, support least developed countries in sustainable and resilient building. India is a developing country still. China and USA are the developed country still. And I have been hearing this since I was in class 5th. They have been developed after the World Wars itself. And we are still the developing country. And believe me, they're still the underdeveloped countries in this world today also. There are total 5 countries today who are not a part of United Nations. The United Nations, we all are aware of what United Nations is, what General Assembly is, why United Nations was created, and why it is very important for every nation to be a part of it. Why a global peace is very important. Still, why those 5 countries are not a part of all those United Nations? We could have known about this, but still we are sitting here doing nothing. And there is a reason why I'm saying this again and again, that we are sitting here and doing nothing so that you can have that impact over yourselves. That yes, moving out of this room, you will not forget about everything, but you'll keep in mind about what you can do to make a small difference amongst yourselves, amongst your family, amongst your friends. So activities which are in according to the goal number 11, improving access to affordable housing, as I discussed about this in the targets itself, enhancing urban planning and management, increasing access to basic services, which is again water, sanitation, food, roof, and many more. Reducing the impact of cities on the environment, enhancing cultural and natural heritage in cities, promoting social inclusion and reducing inequalities, strengthening urban resilience. And when I talk about inequalities, I not only consider the gender inequalities, but all those racial inequalities which are there in this world today. All those national differences, all those cultural differences, all those caste differences. Why do we need to keep them in the first place? Why do we need to think about them? When we can be a brother and sister to each other, as we have pledged about it since we were in the schools. Moving on to the steps of how we can achieve all these goal numbers, targets, and the goal number 11. Develop and implement sustainable urban planning strategies. As I said, we need not to be dependent on a particular organization, on a particular government, on a particular individual to actually develop and give us all these planning strategies. But we can take a step for it itself. Promote access to affordable housing. Improve access to basic services. Strengthen urban resilience. Encourage partnerships and collaborations. All these steps we can take to achieve all these goals. And we definitely have all those indicators through which we can measure and track about the achieving of these goals. Activities that actually oppose goal number 11. Can you tell me what is the first thing? All these points are written over here, but I can catch a very minute point from you all, which is the opposing factor of achieving all these goals. Can anyone tell me? Any random guess? There is just the wrong mindset of living our lives and enjoying our lives in whichever environment we are provided with. And not thinking about any other particular person who might not be getting all these inclusiveness, all these resilience, all these factors that we are getting easily, accessibility. Apart from this, we have urban sprawl and uncontrolled growth of cities. As I told you, half of the humanity, 3.5 billion of people reside in cities today. And as I made you sure that yes, this number will keep on growing and growing. Because we all know that growth in population has led to the overgrowth in population. And still, we have heard about the different government strategies in China, but not in India. And why so? And still, we are not doing about it anything. Destruction of cultural and natural heritage sites. Displacement of people from their homes and communities. Poor urban planning and management. Discrimination and social exclusion. Weak disaster risk reduction and emergency preparedness. We have read and heard about this in the news so many times that all these people residing in the slum areas had to leave their places and move to some other remote places. Why do we need to do that? And why can't we stand for them? Why can't we ask the government to make some of the other better planning facilities or better planning strategies to create or to provide a better housing facilities to all those people? So all these activities are standing in mid to achieve the goal number 11 and collectively to goal number 17, to all the goals established by the UN General Assembly. Now, as I said in the very beginning that I would be taking few questions that would be running in your mind itself. That I live in a city, but I'm not affected by any of these issues. Then why should I care? Wasn't this question in some of your minds? Yeah. So this is a huge point, and that's why I said that the major opposing factor is the mindset. Because we said that no matter we are residing in cities today, but 5 years later, my dear friends, when all these greenhouse gases, all these polluted air will affect us, because we are residing in the same environment and we're doing nothing about it. So definitely we would be getting affected, as Delhi has already been affected. And we know about it. And how many of you people know about the different strategies that are being accepted or that are being implemented by Delhi's government? This is why we need to be very, very assured of what we are doing. Is it expensive to put sustainable practices in place? Well, maybe, but not more than how much it results is. It may be very, very expensive to apply all these practices, but is it expensive than our life? Is it expensive than someone else's life? Is it expensive than someone else's roof, food, water, basic needs? No, I don't think so. What happens if cities are just left to grow organically? Well, earlier, when we were not putting all these things in the front place, we were growing organically itself. But here we have the result that today, 2023, we are discussing about all these factors again and making you all remind that yes, all these factors are still there and we need to take them some steps to bring it forward. What can I do to help achieve this goal? I would like to ask a person, any of the person, if you have get any idea that what can you do to achieve all these goals or just a simple bit of this goal, can anyone tell me? Well, the simple step that you need to take is to think before you do it and then do it. Because if you won't be thinking about how you can make the sustainable environment around yourself, you won't be ever be able to do it. So you need to walk out this room and remember all these small points or this generous talk of, I guess, 1 hour being provided by any of the speakers stand here. You need to remember, and that's how that would be a small step for you all to achieve this goal. Inclusive and sustainable growth can drive progress and generate this means to implement the sustainable development goals. As I have been saying in all during this PPT, that inclusivity, resilience, sustainability, safe environment for everyone is something the most easiest achievable to one and all present over here. Thank you so much everyone for joining the movement, and I hope all the people sitting out here today will be keeping in mind all these factors, all these small bits, all these small points in their mind itself, and will start working for sustainable development goals and to create a better environment for all of us today, later, any years for our future generations. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Kanak, for your insight. We all are able to understand of the sustainability development and the CSSD number 11. Now, as a speaker, so much about this topic. So I hope that you all are able to grab something from this. Now, I would request you all to please take a pledge and to promise yourself that we all will, from now on, follow the path of sustainability. Thank you. Moving on, I would like to request Ms. Lisa ma'am for to present a word of wisdom on the behalf of the esteemed panel of speakers and participants.
Good day, students, once again. And I wouldn't take much of time because we have already listened to such impactful and wonderful insights, such a spellbound performance which we had today, especially for Mr. Avasti. The performance was your presentation was really so spiritful. I am sure you're making a wonderful impact on all these young minds here. And I would like to take the opportunity of thanking Witty Gossip for sharing this platform with Acropolis Institute. And once again, there is a small request and a small gesture which we all have during the event. We would like to click a picture with all of you with hands joined. Dr. Supriya will be telling you the logic behind this. Yes, Doctor.
Yes. So first of all, on behalf of whole team Witty Gossip Association and on behalf of whole Expression team, Expression Learning Resource Private Limited team, from bottom of my heart, I would like to thanks all the faculty members, all the student participants who delivered their most impactful thoughts, who delivered their impactful views to address the Sustainable Development Goal 11. Thank you very much, all faculty members, all the student participants of the Acropolis Institute of Research Center. Thank you very much, Aditya Avasti sir, just because of Aditya sir. Actually, we did it in a very smooth and a very impressive manner. I hope our mentor, Astara ma'am, and our honorable guest speaker, Dr. Janice ma'am, definitely like this amazing experience. We have another mentor, Dr. Christiana, with us also. So thank you, Acropolis Institute of Technology, for this wonderful collaboration, for this awesome collaboration. Thank you, each and everyone. Thank you, all the participants. I think there is some technical glitches there. I hope I am audible.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Yes, yes. No, no, actually, I am audible on the Zoom screen, I know. But whether my voice is coming directly on the Acropolis auditorium, I don't know. Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Aditya sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, Aditya sir. Yes. So, as Lisa ma'am suggests me that I have to tell more about the joining hands. What is the motto behind the joining hands? So, dear Estara, please switch on your camera. Uh, See, actually, the motto, the vision, the objective behind these gesture, joining hands, that means we believe in the collective actions. That means we believe that together we can achieve the more sustainable and the more empowered world. Actually, to organize this the whole summit, the Grand Global Peace and Sustainable Development Summit, for the 17 days, we actually believe that first of all, we have to educate our minds. We have to educate our young minds. We have to educate our future entrepreneurs if we will believe to achieve all the sustainable development goals. So, I, Dr. Supriya Pathak, humbly request to each and every faculty members and each and every students, just uh, just for clicking this picture, let's do this gesture, joining hands, and let's believe in the collective actions. Yeah, just do this joining hands gesture. Yes, please do this joining hands gesture. Wow, what is amazing view. Just please hold down. Yes, please hold down this joining hands gesture. Yes, I would like to request technical team, please take a screenshot. Mosam sir, please take a screenshot.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Wow, what an amazing view. What an amazing view. From bottom of my heart, I actually very grateful to all the students of the Acropolis, all the faculty members of the Acropolis. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes. Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you. Now, for this wonderful experience, I would like to invite Dr. Janice. Dr. Janice, please share your views, ma'am.
This talk today was amazing. Thank you so much for inviting me back to this platform. It's phenomenal. I couldn't stay away. It's near and dear to my heart, and it focuses on people across continents, across countries, across communities, across neighborhoods, coming together with the coupling of hands and the joining of hearts and minds. This goal 11 is very close to my heart, especially as a civil engineer studying city and regional planning at UC Berkeley, focusing on smart development of communities. What else could be an epitome of bringing joy and happiness and wholeness and sustainability in a community? Thinking about promoting sustainable transportation, increasing green spaces, smart planning and development. So starting with policy within governments, but also starting with the minds of individuals that could actually encourage the policies in these governments. and improving on waste management. I don't know if that was mentioned, but I'd like to add that into the conversation. So there are many, many areas in which we could actually achieve this goal 11. It's achievable, it's doable. We could come up with innovative ideas on how to embrace renewable energy. The development, if I may say, the development that my company does is all green tech. If we're going to develop technology as engineers, as thinkers, as creators and innovators, as entrepreneurs, think about it in the context of how we can leave the planet better than it was when we started. So let's think about that. Let's innovate based upon those concepts. So thank you so much for inviting me to say a few words. It's quite an honor and a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Dr. Janice. Thank you. Thank you. See, our students actually motivate with your speech, ma'am. Actually, they can true inspiration and true motivation, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Janice, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, dear Astara, ma'am, please say a few words, ma'am, about your experience, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Supriya. I am really amazed with the manner this presentation was done by the student. Anyway, before we go further, let me thank all the dignitaries, principals, educators, guest speakers, and participants of Acropolis Institute of Technology, Indore, India. On behalf of our Witty Gossips and Expressions Learning Resources, I, Estera Conference Mentor, would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all of you for taking your time out of your busy schedule to share your valuable insights on Sustainable Development Goals 11. Your presentation have been enlightening and inspiring and have provided us with a lot of precious nuggets, a lot of ideas on how to achieve Sustainable Goal 11, the Development Goal 11. Your dedication and commitment to making this world a better place is truly commendable, and we are grateful for the passion and expertise that you have brought to discussion today and through the presentation. We have learned a great deal from your presentation, and we are eager to incorporate these ideas into our own efforts to promote sustainable development in our country. Your contributions have undoubtedly helped to shape our thinking, is thought-provoking, and our actions in years to come. It is really, the presentation is really phenomenal, brilliant, and extraordinary, and well articulated. Once again, thank you for joining us and for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. We look forward to continue our work together in pursuit of a more sustainable and equitable future for all. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Astara, ma'am. Thank you very much. Dear Christiana, ma'am, if you, it is better, ma'am, if you switch on your camera. Yes, dear ma'am. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, in the chat box, I read your message. You said that we must encouraging and empower youth entrepreneurs to develop a small sustainable community in rural areas with zero waste living. Yes, ma'am, I completely agree with your thoughts. Ma'am, would you like to share your views, ma'am, about today's presentations, ma'am, given by all the students? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for presenter of Acropolis Institute. Thank you for organizer there. Amazing hybrid communication. Here we are. And yes, of a global presenter and global view from Africa to India to America, Europe, Croatia. amazing prepare and amazing research you've made, amazing soft skills you have to present, to stand in front of us and present amazing young mind and young view of what we can make. And thank you for your efforts for be there and stand up and speak about it. Please share your knowledge on some platform, on make your platform to share best practice, not just theoretical guidelines. Make platform for best practice. What is made in India, what is made in Africa, what develops in other countries, and share their knowledge as open sources. Be blessed all and take care and continue this work further.
Thank you, dear Christiana, ma'am. Thank you very much. I must say, ma'am, you encouraged a lot all our students, student participations from the Acropolis, all our faculty participations. So thank you, dear ma'am. Thank you. Once again, I would like to say thank you very much, Aditya Avasthi, sir, for make this happen, sir. Thank you, Aditya Avasthi, sir. Just give me just give a bigger round of applause to Aditya Avasthi, sir. Yes. Thank you, Aditya, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Jadis. Thank you. So now it's a time to say goodbye. I am Dr. Supriya Pathak signing off. Thank you very much, Acropolis Institute. Once again, thank you, Color sir. Thank you, Lisa ma'am, from the team of Expression. You did it very well. Actually, we were facing lots of technical glitches, but you both did it very well. Thank you, Lisa ma'am. Thank you, Color sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, dear Asthana. Thank you, dear Dr. Janice. Thank you, dear Christiana ma'am. Tomorrow we will meet again and we will address the Sustainable Development Goal 12. So please stay with us. Thank you very much. Thank you, all of you. Thank you.
Then put off the back camera. Back camera.
Hi, Sushil sir. How are you, sir?